Hi guys, look at how cute this sounds. See that 251? Hear it? You hear it? How cute? Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Isn't that a cute thing? Wow. Are you guys ready to? Are you guys ready to build? Are you guys ready to build some trains? Play Claire de Lune? How does that one go? That's a... I think it's like this. Fuck, I don't remember it. It's something like that. I don't remember it though. Sorry. Sorry. Bro. 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 That's not Claire de Lune? Oh, what am I thinking of? Bum, 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 bum. Is that a song? I thought that was the Claire de Lune. Oh, no, it's not. It's probably something else. Oh, that's Gymnopedia. I don't fucking remember. Claire de Lune. Which one is this one? Oh, shit. Damn, I don't know this shit. That's like a sus2 chord. Damn. Hold on, I'm gonna spend 2 minutes figuring out just what this one chord is, because I'm a fucking retard. Fuck, I'm never gonna be able to figure out that chord actually. Camera. What do you need the camera for? Just chill. Have a just have a chill stream. This? Ugh, that's close. Nope. It's not just that, is it? Fuck. Fuck! Is it? I don't know. Fuck it. Close enough. I got. That's. I'm pretty sure the first here is something like that. Oh, oh, hello. Oh. Nope, not doing that one. Do you know how to play sheet music? You know, if I read it long enough. Oh, I see the chords at least. It's A flat, E flat, F. That's pretty high up there. E, G? Jesus. Is it A, E, F? A, E flat, F. Oh, whoops. And then that's A, C, E, G. Oh my god. Wait, what the fuck song is this? That's not the one we just played, is it?
Steven, here is some money for sex, drugs, and travel. Love you, buddy, Obama.
I don't know what the fuck this is. And then F, A flat, E. D flat, A flat, B flat. What the fuck are these chords? And then A flat, D flat, B flat, Jesus, F, G flat. What is this song? I don't know what this is. Quarter note equals 56? Why not just make it 60, bro? Can you set up OBS to dog? Maybe. Okay, hold on. Let me try this one more time. Okay, this is A, E, F. I should know like the intervals at least, kind of, right? Because these are all fifths on top. So that's C and G. So it's... Wait. It's... And then, oof, F-A-C, oof, and then it's D, F-A, B flat, oh my god, these are weird. It's that, okay, I don't know what song it is, but. It's probably a little slow. Bum, bum. Something like that. Ooh, Halo 3 ODST team. What temp do you keep your apartment at? 69 while I'm streaming. Am I doing something fun? Nope. Boring stream. Just FACTORIO. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the FACTORIO streams. Artosis on EE880.
You guys see that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? It's actually a movie about fucking Protoss. It's like the first fucking Protoss player.
Not enough minerals.
Reaver drops.
Think about it. I want you to think about it, right? How do you get those powers? By doing something so random and stupid and unexpected. Right?
Okay, it's better than that.
Do you think the person who made this movie did not play Terran on the ladder and did not just think of like how to make this into a movie? They're like, okay, now like do the stupidest thing you can think of, and they're like, whoa, I have superpowers now because I did the most random stupid thing. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Do it all. You mean expand everywhere while attacking, losing my army, and attacking, and I'll win? Yes. That's what we mean exactly, in fact. Yeah, I'm glad to open your guys' fucking eyes about...
You're getting grays in your beard? I have no idea. Sometimes I think I am, but then they're just like blonde. I should get them eventually. I don't know, man. I'm sure they're somewhere. I should be having some gray hairs. I'm like 30 fucking 4 almost, right? Usually they... Wait. Maybe? I don't know. They're somewhere in there. I'll shave somewhat before I go no jumper, okay? You start dyeing your hair when it gets gray. No, I don't give a fuck.
Alright, this fit is fucking terrible, bro. Adidas socks, champion shoes, bro. Oh my god, man. I gotta. Ooh, that nigga clean as hell. I ain't never been no envious ass nigga, but I need that. That nigga like a Roman emperor. The ones? Ooh, they ain't fighting right now. Yeah, I think this is the time. This is the time. Right, come on, come on. Ooh, nice two piece. I like that. All right, come on. He about Half-Life. Damn! Kill him. I think I can get him though. 2 hits, just 2 hits. I have to come up off that armor.
Bro, watch out, bro.
Yeah, I need that, man. Sorry.
Bro, that shit weak, bro. At least let me heal up, bro.
Nah, you can go first though. I'll be nice.
Oh, I can go first?
Yeah, go.
Bet.
Damn! No, I gotta run. He like that. Who is this man?
Wait, are these guys that do all these videos, like the funny videos, they don't have any crossover with the WL community, right? Those communities are totally separate. I don't even know what Jidion's normal content is on YouTube. I have no idea. I don't think I've ever watched. I don't think I've ever watched a video of his. Oh, pranks.
I'm in the zoo with the lions and
Push and P with Pokemon. Oh man, dude. People were crazy about this video. I remember that drama. Okay, never mind.
No, I can't run. He's so clean though. If I just get that arm, I could be better than him. Is that Excalibur? Oh, I know for a fact if I get that, I'm killing everybody. I can see myself now. Stay back, girls. Stay back. You there. Prepare for battle. Yeah, I can't run. I gotta kill him. 2 hits, just 2 hits. But if he hit me, I know him.
Or he's gonna drop some bullshit. Oh.
What is this? Fuck no. What is this? This is USPA. Bro, he wasn't wearing this shit. No, some running shit. Oh. No, not some beat up Maxes. No. Wow. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. What is this? This is not what he was wearing. Fuck. What's he doing? Boy, what you doing fighting rats? Boy, it's your broke ass, dirty ass. Oh, he hit him. I ain't even gonna look. What you get? What you get? Some fur? The tail? No, what the fuck? No, you don't deserve that, man. You was fighting rats, bro. Nah, hey, look, I'm finna fight you. Hey, bro, you hear me? Oh, he logged out. Oh, fuck. Bro, from a rat? From a rat? How did he get them calls from a... I'm finna go these rats. There's hella rats here. Ah! Damn, that's dirty. Oh, come on, man. What is this? This whole laid. Come on, give me something. Man, come on, man. Damn. This whole kind of clean though this time. But damn. Oh, come on. Oh, this old ass hair. Oh my gosh, bro. Damn. Hey. Bro, I don't even got nothing, man.
No, we gonna see. You ready?
You gonna end up with these champions on your feet. I don't have anything, bro. Please don't kill me for no...
Oh, yeah. I knew you had something on it. Yeah, the boys. Oh, yeah. I've been looking for this all day. Let's go. What the hell? How many times got one of these yet? Yeah, let's go. Hey.
What's good, y'all? This video is sponsored by Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Now, if you don't know
Damn, I want to get sponsored by Final Fantasy Brave Exodus.
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is, it's a free-to-play mobile RPG by none other than Square Enix, who makes some of my favorite games, and it's available on both iOS and Android. I don't have an Android.
Wait, is this some fucking Final Fantasy mobile game shit? Because I will pay the fuck for this shit. What is it?
But it's on both. So the cool thing about Brave Exvius is that you can summon original and iconic characters from previous Final Fantasy titles, which you can use to build up to a party of 5, right? And as of right now, Brave Exvius actually just collaborated with Final Fantasy X, where you get a chance to receive Tidus via summon, which is kind of...
Tidus?
crazy because Final Fantasy X was actually the first Final Fantasy game I ever played. I mean, if Tidus wasn't enough, you can also get a free Neovision Summoner unit just by logging in, and you get a daily free 10 summon where you can get free units daily up until October 5th. I know it sounds like free right now.
Is there a cloud? What is this called? Final Fantasy Exodus? Wait, XP? What is this called? Shit, what's the name of this game? Hold on.
I'm saying? So why not? If you like RPGs or just video games in general, or just RDC, you know, click the link in the description below to download and play.
5-minute beginner's guide.
Hello, welcome to the story are pretty self-explanatory. But now, let's just the need to get another physical tank for the foreseeable stats and elemental resistance.
Oh my god, it's like Lords Mobile, but for Final Fantasy.
Would generally be a far stronger pick than anyone on this list. There are standout Neo Vision Awaken units like Star Player Titus or Lone Lion Squall.
Why do they all call him? Is his name really Titus? Was I wrong the whole time? I thought his name was Titus. Oh no.
But again, general rule of thumb is later is better. Except for when it's not, of course. Now, how to improve at the game.
Oh my god, we've got Ramza, we've got Orlando, we've got Delita? Is this Ultima from Final Fantasy Tactics? I don't know who these two. Oh, and Gafgarian? Bro!
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius gets pretty deep. There are ways to increase your damage with the various types of bonuses, taking advantage of elemental weakness, amplifying elemental damage through support units, or strengthening damage against certain enemy types through killers. And depending on the type of your attack, you may want specific determining loss. The one, of course, there are a lot of other things you could be doing.
Who are these
too,
guys? I don't even know.
Brave Exvius and correctly. But the second one gives you a Awaken unit to create a power game related to Clash of Clans. You can run even summon from whichever beyond the abundance of materials you no doubt have on hand, and a better
I need a sponsor.
Brave Exvius.
I need a sponsor for this game. Oh man, it's Titus.
Me and Titus, we are gonna do a little exploring today.
It's actually Titus?
You know, to the secret place at the base of that tree.
This is stupid. Dumb. Watch this no jumper guy go off on the fresh and fit girl.
Can we get into why she's mad at me first?
Yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, we gotta start it off.
I'm just trying to start off with the smoke.
Start off with the
smoke.
Yeah, we
let's
all
hear this.
yeah, we, you know what I'm saying? Started off
All right.
spicy. I got it.
So,
Ready to rumble.
at first, back in the day when me and V first got into porn, we used to watch your podcast. I thought you were cool. That's why I was like, fuck yeah. I told V, I was like, yo, we.
Who's V?
Violet Myers. Yeah.
Cool.
I was like, fuck it, I'm finna tweet at Adam. I'm gonna try and get us on his podcast and shit like that. And it worked. It ended up happening. We did the podcast and shit. Had a good time. Went viral. I love the success from it. I don't hate it whatsoever. But what I fucking hated is the fact that I felt you discredited me.
Why? How?
Whoa.
So the fact that you posted this shit on TikTok, like you were posting it everywhere, but yo, like at least like throw my name in there or something like that. And when I asked you to come back on the podcast after the first one had been successful, you just like you threw me off to the side and shit like that.
I just ignored you.
No, like that shit shady as fuck.
How is it shady for me to not want to interview you again? I interviewed you one time, did you a favor, and now you're mad that I didn't want to interview you again?
Did me a favor? Yo, you didn't even fucking, first of all, you made money off the shit. Second of all, you didn't even give me the content for it. Like, yo, that's grimy.
I mean, you could go to YouTube and download the video just like everybody else on Earth, right?
No. You could send me
No,
the
literally,
content.
go to YouTube and go to Google and search how to download a YouTube video. It's going to take you like 5
No,
seconds.
ain't
Boom,
finna-
you got the video.
I don't give a fuck. You ain't finna sit here
But
and
I'm
talk to me
saying
like
this
I'm
is the
fucking
same
retarded.
retarded ass shit that people always try to say. Yeah, I interviewed you one time, then you tried to do it again, and I ignored you because I didn't want to do it. And now you're salty. Why? I let you on the fucking podcast one
Because
time.
you
I just didn't want to have you back.
Nah,
How did I discredit you?
You discredited me.
How?
Because you didn't fucking advertise my name or anything like that, but you kept reposting this shit.
Okay, number one, I don't know if you understand this, but I run a business, so there's people that run my TikTok that I have absolutely nothing to do with, so I don't know what the fuck they're posting. But the part of the podcast that went viral was Violet talking about how she wanted to get shit on.
Yes,
It had nothing to do with you, so why the fuck
yes,
would we tag you?
Yes,
you didn't say a word.
I was in the fucking interview. Yes, I fucking did.
You were sitting there, but you didn't say shit.
Yes, I did.
It's not like they tagged her either.
Yo, you fucking tripping. I swear to God, yo, I'm about to hit this man with the mic. All right, next. Let's
Oh my God! Do you want to know what that is? That is the sound of her realizing that she's wrong and that she's been mad at me about something totally fucking stupid for a long time. I interviewed you once. I let you on the podcast one time. The fact that you're so entitled that you think that you deserve to come back on the podcast again. Guess what? You were boring the first time, so I didn't invite you back because I didn't want you to be boring again.
Shut up.
Facts.
First of all, I listened to the podcast that you guys did earlier, and you know what? I respect the fact that you grinded hard to get to where you fucking at. Cause you know what? I grind fucking hard to get to where the fuck I'm at. But when I have motherfuckers like this discrediting me,
okay,
and
I never
down
discredited
upon,
you.
Yes, you did.
How?
I just explained it. I ain't finna explain it again.
I don't know what the I can't say anything because I don't know what the industry standards are. She sounds like she might have like a legitimate grievance. Yeah, general grievance. Grievance, but I don't know what the industry standard is for. Are you supposed to credit people, or are you supposed to link their shit, or what is like the SOP, standard operating procedure? What is the MO? Modus operandi? Like, I feel like if you don't know, though, I feel like you should just ask or say something. So, like, when I finished the Fresh and Fit, I asked Myron, I was like, hey, are we allowed to post this anywhere? Like, what's like the courteous thing to do? And he's like, yeah, post it, do whatever. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I just posted it. But if she didn't say anything in the clip that went viral, yeah, but I'm saying like to demand that somebody link you or source you, like I feel like I would just figure that shit out in advance so that I would have my expectations like with whatever they're supposed to be, you know. But I don't know what I don't know what the standard practice is in this industry at all. I have no idea.
A really bad job explaining it. You didn't even make a point at all.
Yes, I did.
Again, you didn't make a
Yes,
point.
I
You don't
did.
have an
Yes, I
argument
did.
here.
I'm not gonna
I let
keep
you on my
repeating
podcast
myself.
one time. I just didn't want to have you back because you were boring.
Bet. Cool.
It's honestly like it's the same reason why your
Cool.
porn career hasn't taken off is because you're just boring.
My porn career did take off, actually.
No, Violet blew up after you guys did the interview. Your shit is stagnant as fuck because you're mid.
Stagnant because I'm mid? Bet. All right, watch.
I'm just telling you how it is. Like, I didn't invite you back on the podcast because you're boring and you're mid. And now you're pissed off because I didn't want to have you on the pod again. It doesn't even make sense. Like, it's my podcast. I get to invite whoever the fuck I want. Guess what? They might never invite you back. You don't have a say in that.
And you're not wrong. You know what? You're not wrong. It's all
I
right.
know.
I'll leave it like that.
I'm just baffled by the fact that you even wanted to come on a podcast and sound this fucking dumb. Like, you wanted to do this. Like, this was your plan?
I'm not, whatever. I ain't bothered by you. You ain't nothing but a white boy. Like, real shit. Fucking white
You're
boy
white, too.
Okay. Yes, I am.
You're
yes,
white,
I
too.
am. But you an average-ass white boy with a fucking arrogant-ass fucking...
I'm a multimillionaire with a huge business, beautiful girlfriend, and a great life. I own a big-ass house. I own multiple properties. You're a mid-porn star who came on here to try to make a point, and you sound like a fucking moron.
I'm happy for you. You know what? And I'm not going to hate on you. I'm not.
Well, you came here to hate on me, but now you realize that you didn't have a fucking argument because you sound so stupid.
I'm not hating on you. I'm telling you I felt discredited.
I never had anything against you. I just didn't want to have you on the podcast again, so I ignored you. I showed Myron. I sent Myron the DMs of me ignoring you. It's pretty bad. It makes you look like a thirsty bitch. I'm going to be real with you.
Oh, no.
Because you just keep asking to come on the podcast, and I keep ignoring you.
But you know what?
That's the whole
you know
thing.
What? And I'm not going to give up. I'm not.
Why would you want, like, why can't you just accept that I don't want to have you on my podcast again? You got these guys right down the street from you, and they're going to have you on, right?
Yeah,
we love both you guys, man.
I never had anything against you, and I would have never revealed to you that you're mid. But then you came on this podcast trying to talk shit about something that don't even make any fucking sense.
I'm trying to clear the air on the fact of why you don't fuck with me. That shit weird.
I fuck with you. I fucked with you. I just didn't want to have you on the podcast
okay,
again.
Why
Guess what?
you
Coming
be
on the jumper is a very rare, special time in someone's life. It's like puberty. You only get to do it once. Maybe again if you take some testosterone or something. But I'm just saying, me not respond.
Second puberty. That was a very progressive reference to what trans people sometimes refer to as second puberty when they go on hormones. Or he just randomly fucking said that and lucked into that. But nice.
You could have well within my right.
All right, whatever.
Because if I respond to you in the DMs, what am I going to say? All that I can say is I don't want to have you back on the podcast again because it was boring the first time, which I feel like me leaving you on red kind of gets that message across without me having to actually say it.
Okay, let me ask.
Right.
Let me.
What happened to the game?
Let me ask.
That shit was like Jay Paul and Nick
Let me
Robinson.
ask. I think this is the real question she want to ask, even though he did discredit her the way she felt. But she really want to say, "Can you fuck with me again? And can you blow my little career up a little bit more?" Is that what you really want to ask him?
Yeah, she wants some clout, and she's mad that I didn't give
I mean,
her more clout after I
obviously,
gave her the
my
first
last name
dose of
is Clout.
I think she wants to.
But is that
fuck
what
with
you?
She wants to be your friend. Black.
Yeah,
I know, but
I literally don't want problems with you. No, we won't.
I don't know. Oof, I'm about to make a lot of assumptions here about people that is like that I don't fuck with and I don't know, and it's hard for me to say, but just from my very limited experience of human beings and women, it sounds like a girl that's like never been told no before. That's like the feeling that I get. Oh man, if you wanted to get back on, like tell a joke. Bro, I was on your show. We went viral. You should have me back on sometimes. Boom, that's it. That's all you gotta say. But this like, why don't you fuck with me? Why did you leave me out? Why did you disrespect me? What do you mean? Bro, chill. It's his show. Why the fuck are you acting so entitled? Chill. Okay?
Word.
We
No,
were
we
cool.
were not.
I
No,
just
we
didn't
were
respond to you because I
not.
didn't want to have you on the podcast again. I'm allowed that.
Okay,
it's my
cool.
show. I can have whoever I want.
Okay.
Cool,
If they
dope.
stop responding to you tomorrow, that's their right.
So do you
So
not
you're
want to
not
be her
wrong about
friend?
that.
You do not want to work with her, Adam.
I mean, honestly, after seeing how entitled she is, no, I definitely don't. And even before, it was just, I didn't want to do another boring-ass podcast with you because the first one, Violet killed it. I got to give her credit. You were kind of boring. You felt the vibe. Even during the interview, it was obvious that you were jealous of the fact that we were just paying attention to her.
No,
I just didn't want to
wasn't.
bring that negative energy
literally-
back to my show.
Yo, I literally love Violet. Like from day
She's
one.
great.
I have nothing against her. Like real shit. I always like
I know, but
my
you were
friends are
obviously
killing
jealous of her during the interview because she was
You don't
controlling
know.
the energy.
You don't know how I feel though on the inside. Like literally, I don't have any
Listen,
type
I
of
was
jealousy
there.
towards
I do
my
this for a
friends.
living. I could tell
no,
that
you
you were
fucking don't. I
jealous.
could FaceTime V right now, and she know how I fucking feel.
Okay.
Like yo,
I'm
that's
just
my
telling
best
you,
friend.
you were bummed because we were talking to her more than you because she was more entertaining than you.
She's
Holy
dope.
shit.
I love V.
All right,
I love V.
all right. I will say this: when I hit that ready to rumble, I was just kidding, guys.
Yeah.
God damn.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Hey,
This what happens with no jumpers.
This
coming
white
in
on
this
white crime is
motherfucker.
terrible. Thugs over here.
Bandana.
Yeah.
White on white crime. Thugs. I know. Your people.
Yo, read that.
Hey, he's looking back at me.
Your people.
All right.
Hold on. I got to say this, right?
Hey, he's
So
looking
look,
back at me. Should we get her?
I know both of y'all, right? I know both of y'all. I know Adam. I know Kiki, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
We love both you
you're a
guys.
good person.
Yo, I'm gonna
You're a
keep it
good
humble,
person.
like real shit. Adam can say whatever the fuck he wants to say, and he could talk to me however he wants to on the internet and perceive to be some.
Bro, you can't say I'm gonna be humble after you are not humble. It doesn't work that way. It don't work that way. That's some shit that humble is some shit that happens at the beginning, not after you've been humbled. Okay? Jesus. Oh no. Paparazzi gets mad at. Humble is something you do at the beginning of an interview, not mid temper tantrum. True. True.
Yo, you're in the way! No, I have cancer, you scumbag! Go! Get off your phone! Hey, moron with the cell phone! Yo! Oh my God, you piece of shit! You piece of shit! Yo, fuck you! You piece of shit! Scumbag! Get the fuck off the carpet! You piece of shit!
Oh man. It's DGG posters when they see Tabor and Erudite join the Discord. Just kidding.
Something on when the cameras are on and shit like that. But yo, I'm gonna be the same person on and off the camera, like real shit.
The problem is that the person that you are is really entitled and thinks that you deserve podcast appearances when that's not how it works. You don't get to demand to be on a podcast.
That is true.
I would love to be on Joe Rogan.
I'm not
going to hit Joe
demanding.
Rogan up like, why haven't you had me on?
No, I'm not.
I'm just going to chill and do my thing. And if he wants to ever ask me, he can ask me. And that's the same idea that you should have. If I want to have you back on the podcast, I would ask you.
I'm not demanding, but I'm telling you, like, make me feel more of a person. Don't just, like, throw me off to the side like that. That shit just, it felt shady. It felt shady.
I'm
it
gonna
really
be honest
did.
with you. Do you realize that the same way that you were hitting me up, asking me for an interview, dozens of people hit me up every day.
I believe you.
Saying that same
I
shit.
believe you.
And for the most part, I leave them on red because I don't really want to have the awkward conversation dozens of times per day of, no, I don't want to have you on the podcast.
Right.
That's what my life is like. I feel like you should be more understanding and just accept that. Because the truth is I would be down to fuck with have you on the Patreon or whatever, but I mean, this whole like entitled, like weird bitch mode thing is just whack to me. So.
Damn.
So we came to an understanding here, right?
Yep.
Adam, will you ever... we kick it again.
I mean, it is possible because the Patreon, you know, maybe people might be excited to have her on there. I don't know.
Kiki, right? He heard your point of view. Obviously, he's has a business to run. But
I understand.
That being said, same thing with us, right? We bring people on the podcast all the time. We do an interview. It might be good. Second one might not be that good. So we don't even respond.
Yeah.
It's natural. We're in the game.
I got you.
So
When you
you
put it
understand?
like that, I understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
Well, so we good, right? We good, right?
Come on, reconcile that.
There you go. On air. There you go.
Okay. Hey, yo.
Hey.
Damn. 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 Some shit going on.
And for one, we ain't just trying to say, nigga, it's just in our vocabulary. That's in my vocabulary. Birds of a feather flock together. I'm not white. Like, what you talking about? I mean, I am white, but I feel like I'm just like, you know, it's just regular. Like, I don't know.
What else I'm gonna say?
Everybody say I'm not white, but I know I'm white. And then I'm glad I'm white. Yeah, we got the best of both worlds, bitch. We just got the best. Feel me? I use this white privilege too, bitch. Don't get it wrong, ho. Bro, I say that shit on accident. That's just how I say it. Like, feel me? I don't even realize when I say it. It's just regular, like, it's just my nigga right here. That's like saying what's up with my brother. I mean, that's what it is, like.
Does anyone ever get mad at you for saying?
Yeah, they doing it, and we check their ass too. They got on them. What? They got on them, no, nigga. And for one, we ain't just trying to say, nigga, it's just in our vocabulary. That's in my vocabulary. Birds of a feather flock together. I'm not white.
Like, what you talking about?
I mean, I am white, but I feel like I'm just like, you know, it's just regular. Like, I don't know.
What else I'm gonna say?
Everybody say I'm not white, but I know I'm white. And then feel me?
What'd you think about Lasanabi?
I mean, I don't know that much about him.
You're just getting into this.
This is so old, True Mama. This is a 2-week-old clip. Oh. 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 What's your thoughts on the Corey Kenshin situation? I have no idea. Who the fuck is that? Who's Cookie Ninja? Call of Duty montage. Oh shit, who joined? Oh.
Me, Steve.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great right now.
Well,
I
that's
just,
good.
I just want to ask you real quick. If you were in my situation, personally, what would you do? I'm sure you've been in something similar. You've had a lot of relationships, a lot of ones that have
Do
fell
in
off.
regards to what?
Just like, so here's the thing. I am under like a spell right now, I feel. Like something like I feel like I was pretty wrong, and every time something happens, it just triggers it all over again. It's almost like Anna, but not on that level. I'm just getting like pissed and annoyed every time this person says something retarded or does something retarded.
Which part are you talking about, Melina?
Yes. So I like someone will link me like a clip and it's on her stream and she's like, "Oh, this guy is so unhinged. I always attract all these unhinged people. They're so crazy and retarded." And I'm like, "Dog, no way, bro. No way. She's trying to fucking lump me in with Bob 7."
Listen, my policy is
Eric.
talk shit, get hit. Somebody talk shit, you talk shit back. That's usually what I do.
So I respect that, and I'm just like
oh my god,
This is the opposite of what I to do.
This is the opposite of Tabor. What Tabor was telling me to do. Tabor told me to.
I told you to just leave it alone. Just stop talking about it. Just leave it alone. You don't need to ask Steve's advice. 85% of DGG voted they were on Team Darius. That never happens. Just leave and take the dub and walk away. Goodbye. Goodbye.
So again, my issue isn't getting approval from chat. My issue is having somebody not understand my point. And I feel like if the person that is not understanding my point is, you know, Melina in this case, it just really ticks me off. So that's where I'm like, okay, so, because like that's where it's just, and so I'm like, do I just ignore it? Do I just move on? Like I just have to just every time she says something retarded, just think, okay, people are just gonna view her as retarded because I know she's not retarded. You know she's not retarded. But when I see these things that are retarded, I'm just like, okay, bro, like. So talk to her. She's blocked me on everything, and then the last time, so with this message with know you, she has said that I'm too unhinged to talk to. So Steven,
the way that this stuff works is that like if people keep poking each other, then it just goes on forever.
Yes.
I would assume right now everything's probably done. But if she talks shit again, I don't know. I would talk shit. I told her to chill. I don't know. Chill. I told her to chill on her stream today. I think she stopped after that, but maybe she didn't. But
okay.
I mean,
it seemed like she stopped after that, and I even said like I'm just gonna get offline, and then I was offline, and then you hit me with that DM, and I was like, okay.
Wait,
it seems like because
I hit you with a DM. Wait, which one did I?
No, know you. I can't say her name correctly.
Oh yeah, that was retarded as fuck.
Yeah,
I told both of them to fuck off, so I don't know why they're.
Yeah. Okay. So I will again because like I don't want to like make it look bad because whatever happens I say about Melina inevitably falls on you. Just even if it's not related to you, it's something that people are going to pester you about and you have to deal with, and I feel pretty bad about that because you personally shouldn't have to deal with that. Same thing with Sushi when she's like doing stuff like. That looks bad on me regardless, and I have to like I'm like an extension of her almost. So that's where I'm like, okay, like I want to punch back, right? But I also don't want you to have to like sit and chat or sit and like respond to like accusations on Mel or have to answer for Mel because she won't do it because she'll just ignore it and then pretend say I don't care.
Okay, so if you and Mel have drama, or if you Sushi and Mel have drama, then you guys can fight that out and settle it in however you want. You guys can do all this shit. I don't care. But if I start to get dragged into it, then I have to start providing what I know to be true of some side of the story because I don't want weird shit being said about me, right? So like, if Sushi wants to get involved and talk shit, that's fine. I don't really give a fuck. But when she starts saying, she's like, oh, like, these guys have STDs, blah, 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 blah. I know I get tested more than Sushi. I know that for a fact. And I know I have a more recent test than her. I know that for a fact. And I know I get tested for herpes, and I know she doesn't. And I know that's a fact. So when people are, like, making these types of claims, I don't want it to reflect on me, because if Melina has STDs, it makes it sound like I have STDs. I don't have anything. I know I don't, because I get tested very frequently. Yeah,
That's
so I'm
always
just
the
so I'm
case.
just saying that like as long as I stay out of it, then they can do what you guys can do what you want. You can fight how you want or whatever. But just when shit gets weird or I start to get dragged into it, at some point like everything has to come out, which I don't want to happen because it's weird as fuck for everything. But I would say everybody should probably just chill the fuck out. I told Melina to fuck off. I told Nina to fuck off, and hopefully they all chill. Sushi got to do her little rage stream, and hopefully she feels good, and hopefully Melina shuts the fuck up about everything, and everything's cool. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
So I guess what I would seek for, so like that exact example you gave, right?
Mhm.
So let's say someone is like even like an STD thing. Let's say that theoretically was happening. Like okay, so that wouldn't that reflects on you. But if it was a true statement about the other person, then like you would have to. Like it's like automatically involves you. Like let's say like we talk about her like hooking up with someone or whatever, right? Like again, like that again is like someone saying like why did you allow like her to hook up with that person and stuff like that, which and kind of involves you at the end, or like if that person's directly involved with you, right?
I'm not entirely sure what that sentence was. I'm just saying that when things like STD accusations are thrown around, I usually have to step in and say something.
Okay, gotcha. If it's something that can make you look like someone that is
if it starts to reflect poorly on me, then I'm not gonna sit here and say Melina's a perfect person. She does dumb shit or whatever. But if it's stuff that is within my realm of responsibility, then I handle my shit. So I'm gonna say something. But otherwise, you guys are free to frolic and fight and do all that.
Again, I just worry that I don't get this shit stressful in general, and it's like already pretty stressful for me. So I imagine you have a lot more eyeballs. So okay, cool. All right.
Be careful, mate. I love you. You can do it. Be safe. Be chill.
Bye.
Bye. Fuck, sorry. Whoops. You guys just got burped on. My bad. Damn. Based. Funny Mr. Mutin movie. Nope. Nice try though. We've already seen this. Throw up a 950? You want to see me throw up a 950, dude? If you really want to see it, hold on. okay? These two just fuck me.
But be aware that you have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself while you are there and anywhere else. Anything that you say can be used against you.
They said just...
Why? I don't even know what this is. Well thought out video on current inflation.
Inflation in the United States soaring to its highest level.
Oh, base. Oh, perfect boring video. That's what we need right now, guys. Some boring macro econ.
Likes to take responsibility for bad things.
Look, we need to talk about inflation and specifically about why it seems to be such a mystery to economists and central bankers.
Stephen, I'm going to keep it a $1.50. I'm down bad. If you could loan me $10K so I can get back to having some sex, drugs, and travel, obemna.
And these were the European Central Bank's inflation forecasts. As you can see, they consistently expected inflation to subside, while it only got worse. Similarly, before the pandemic, inflation remained stubbornly low, and the same economists kept predicting that inflation would go back up. This is by no means unique to Europe. Recently, the chairman of the US Federal Reserve Bank, Jerome Powell, shocked the world when he said,
I think we now understand better how little we understand about inflation.
That's not very reassuring.
And since there are plenty of theories about inflation, that got me wondering, why is inflation still a mystery to central bankers? To answer that question, we first need to understand how the current theory of inflation was forged during a great scientific battle. A battle that saw monetarist economists such as Milton Friedman defeat the Keynesians, only to then be defeated by the new Keynesians, which are now battling new theories such as modern monetary theory and the fiscal theory of the price level. Let's start at the beginning.
Let's do that, dude.
In the 1970s, the world of macroeconomics was basically on fire.
Basically? You mean
basically? I'm sorry, by a scourge of inflation combined with super high unemployment. But according to the Keynesian economists of the time, this combination should not have been possible. You see, in 1958, an economist called William Phillips discovered that historically there was a remarkably stable relationship between unemployment and inflation. This observation was then incorporated into the theoretical framework that was inspired by the world-famous economist John Maynard Keynes. These Keynesian economists were very much concerned with stabilizing unemployment at a very low level. So it seems weird to view inflation as a consequence of too many employment opportunities. However, it does make sense if you view the rise of all prices simultaneously as the consequence of overall demand outpacing overall supply. After all, if almost everybody is already employed, you cannot really make more stuff. Or as economists would say, supply is constrained. At the same time, with so many workers employed, demand is at an all-time high. And with overall demand higher than overall supply, it makes sense that prices will go up. However, during the oil crisis of the 1970s, the US experienced double-digit inflation while unemployment reached all-time highs of 7.5%. This rare combination of stagnation and inflation came to be known as stagflation. And I know that many people think that economists are not real scientists, but as should be the case in science, the old Keynesian theory not fitting the data meant that the field was wide open for new challengers. The challengers that initially seemed to come out on top were the monetarists, and their champion was Chicago professor Milton Friedman.
Can you tell what that noise is? It's the sound of money being printed.
The charismatic professor seemed to have all the answers. According to him, inflation was actually a simple problem.
Now, the first step toward understanding the cause of inflation is to...
I'm sorry, I didn't listen to any of this. I'm sorry, hold on. MrGirl's messaging me. Oh, hamster hog. Oh, everybody go, oh, for hamster hog. Oh. God, I have this stupid song stuck in my head. Why haven't you talked with Lauren Stein in a while? I don't know, damn. I think she's streaming less now, isn't she? We were gonna talk a few days ago about the Dubin shit, but I had I pushed back my Dan stuff so much. I felt bad. I don't want to skip out on it again. Because I'm also going out of town for really just like a day and a half, I guess. In 2 days. To be on No Jumper and beg for clout. Please. He better not disrespect me. What? How often is she streaming now? Fuck, I don't even know. Young Don said he'd reach out to you. He's doing a Muslim manifesto now. No, please stop. No, Young Don, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Oh, he's got so many subs. Oh, I feel like I'm clout sharking. I didn't know he was this big. Damn. Rip. Wrong Young Don channel. Young Don YouTube. Wait, how many? Is he Young Don Reborn? Is it the same one?
How do I jeopardize all that?
Wait, are these two different people or?
But a few fans have ran into me. They
Wait, it sounds similar. Am I being racist? The same one, but he just does animation.
know where I live, so I'm like, yo, what if this?
Does he do all the drawings for this?
Bro, have you ever been fat? Yup. I realize the freeze every week to if it weren't still in this picture and the chills looking soft.
Okay. Sorry. Young Don takes 3 Muslims to church. Oh no. Bro, what are you doing?
I see how Sarah died.
Okay, don't you think it's a little okay, listen, if he just became fucking Christian like 2 or 3 months ago, he should chill.
Recognize.
Okay, fuck. Where's MrGirl? Join general lobby. I don't care. You were trying to spam like Jesse during stream, and if you make more account, oh my god, RTBA going on a banning spree. Why? He's the Christian version of Lav Loon's anti-sex work arc. Stop. Okay, we're waiting for MrGirl to figure out Discord. Is there a way to like click on the minimap and go there or no? No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh.
Hello?
Hello, Max.
Hello, Steven.
How's it going, babe?
It's going okay.
Oh man, only okay. Oof.
Only okay.
That's a doozy. Okay.
I know. But as you know, I'm a little upset with you.
Uh-oh.
I hate to have to police you here.
Yeah.
I hate to be soy.
Yep, that's good. Well, listen, in the era of the Giga Chad, the soy is the true king.
Soy is the new Giga Chad.
True.
You deleted the main post giving you pushback against your performance in our argument about your treatment of Nick Fuentes.
I did. I removed it as spam.
You removed it as spam.
Yeah, that's the thing that comes off on the removal thing. Yeah.
Got 700 upvotes.
A lot of upvotes. It did.
Goddamn, Steven has contradicted himself so many times in his debate with Max and Chud. This is painful.
True.
Should I read this out loud so we know what we're talking about? Have you shown it on screen?
You can read it if you want.
Okay.
If you think
in the
that's
debate,
necessary, go for it.
I think it's absolutely necessary.
Okay.
In the debate just now, when Chud and Max, mostly Max, debated him on the stabilization of Nick, I think he meant sanitization.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Steven is just trying to defend himself without being able to be critical of himself at all. This is most prevalent with how contradictory he is in this debate. In the span of like 10 minutes, he says things like, I never said Nick isn't a Nazi, and, well, if you separate every view he has, he is close enough to be called a Nazi. And also says, well, I don't believe someone can hide his true feelings for half a decade without changing his beliefs, within the context of him not explicitly saying Nazi shit for a few years, so he isn't a Nazi anymore. This has been going on all debate. It's almost gaslighting. This is exactly what Max is talking about. That's true. Being all blurry with what you say about Nick's beliefs. Max is 100% correct with his assessment here. 100%. Literally, every statement said by Max is correct.
Every single one. Jeez.
Yes, literally.
Okay.
While Steven is being so weaselly.
Jesus.
He literally did the Britney argument fucking hell.
Wow.
Edit. After reading one of the comments here, I'd like to add that a huge problem is that basically the only times Steven says Nick is a Nazi is as a joke towards Nick. Steven admits this in the conversation. This is outwardly implying to people that Steven doesn't actually think that Nick is a Nazi, which is the problem with sanitization that Max is talking about.
Jeez. That's a lot.
Okay. It's got 1 gold, 1 helpful, 3 wholesome, and only 487 upvotes. Not 700.
How many comments, though? A lot of comments, probably.
361 comments.
Okay. Jeez. Active threat.
Very active thread.
Big marketplace over there, I would say.
Marketplace of ideas. Exactly. And this combined with you saying you're willing to receive. So I was saying to you, I think part of my concern about this is that I don't think you are that open to pushback about this, because when I was pushing back against you, it felt like you were just kind of shooting me down and arguing with me and saying that everything I'm saying is wrong. And I didn't feel like you were like, oh, like, yeah, I if I'm going to go into this kind of dangerous territory, platforming this like kind of political leader who I think you said, and I believe you and I agree with you, might want to commit genocide if he ever comes to power, that you'd be like, oh yeah, I need other eyes on this to like help me make sure that I'm doing the right thing. But that's not the sense I got from you. And then when you get pushback from your own community, democratic pushback in a system with votes and shit, you delete it.
Unbelievable. Do you want me to give you my response?
The last thing.
Okay.
You said if your fans become Knicks fans, you hope that they go and march in the Fourth Reich if Nick defeats you in this battle for their souls. Because you said good ideas beat bad ideas. And the mechanism by which Nick would not beat you is by your community talking about it and talking honestly amongst themselves about what they think of Fuentes. And when you don't allow them to do that, you are tipping the scales in Fuentes' favor.
Do you think that last part is true? Do you think I don't allow my community to talk about Fuentes?
I think in this case, I don't think you. No, that's not my last. That's not my point. I'm not saying you never do.
Okay.
I'm saying this is proof of a time where they were criticizing Fuentes and criticizing your acceptance, your handling of Fuentes. I know that you'll let them criticize Fuentes, but this is a case of them criticizing directly you and your handling of Fuentes, and you deleted it. So that's not to don't set up a straw man where I'm saying you delete all criticism of Fuentes.
I was just clarifying because it made it sound like you were saying I wasn't.
No, you're not clarifying. You're confusifying.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'll use stronger language because you're wrong. Okay, so earlier it made it you implied that I wasn't giving my community the opportunity to talk about Fuentes. That's not true.
No,
they've made
that's not what I implied. I did imply that.
Well, no, you might not have said that, but that's what you implied. We can play.
That's not what I implied. All I implied is that you deleted this thread. You deleted this thread.
I'm gonna roll back and listen to exactly what you said. Hold on. It's important that we have the words exactly right.
Criticizing Fuentes and criticizing your acceptance, your handling of Fuentes. I know that you'll let them criticize Fuentes, but this is criticizing your acceptance, or criticizing Fuentes.
Okay, hold on one second. Do you think that last part is true? Do you think I don't allow my community to talk about Fuentes?
Fuentes' favor. By your community talking about it, in this battle for their souls, because you said good ideas beat bad ideas, and the mechanism by which Nick would not beat you is by your community talking about it and talking honestly amongst themselves about what they think of Fuentes. And when you don't allow them to do that, you are tipping the scales in Fuentes' favor.
Okay, you made it sound like when you said, when you don't allow your community to talk about Fuentes, you are tipping the scale
Absolutely.
in his favor.
When you don't allow them to talk about this,
okay,
at the times that you do that, not saying that is always happening.
Not saying that it's always, but in the times that it happens. Okay, that's fair. Okay,
in the instances that happens,
okay,
and this is a pretty big instance because this was after a big discussion about it, after a big argument. Everybody goes to the subreddit who's interested to see what the community has to say about it. The highest upvoted comment about that conversation, or highest upvoted thread with the most comments, was saying that I was right and that the way you are acting about this does provide cover for him. And then you deleted it. And when you deleted it, in that moment, in the instance, in the 0.2 milliseconds that you were clicking that mouse button, you were providing a fucking shitload of cover for Fuentes.
Okay. The way that I generally run my community is I'm pretty open to criticism and feedback for most things. But when people make it weirdly personal, I generally always delete those threads. If somebody has something good to say or something critical to say, generally okay with that. But when a thread is called like, God damn, Destiny is being so contradictory and he's being Weasley, usually for those I just delete it. There's plenty of people in my sub that push back and give lots of criticism. They do it, they don't get banned, it's fine. But more often than not, it's usually people typing shit like, I just think that he's being Weasley and he's not even trying to engage a good fan. It's like, there's no like good criticism here. This is trash. And I usually just wipe those threads or ban the people.
After me reading that back to you, do you think there is no good criticism in that thread?
There might be, but he could have written it a lot better.
Okay. Do you concede, or here, I think this, you let me know what you think. The more horrifying people find you or your conduct or your ideas, the more emotionally they're going to react to it.
Possibly, but I don't have to tolerate that emotional reaction.
You do if you want pushback, because while you and I may be able to keep the rhetorical cool and talk to somebody who wants to kill us or thinks that we are crazy or wants to kill us, whatever, or do whatever horrible thing, we can keep our cool and say, okay, I'm going to engage with your ideas. I'm not going to freak out. Most people, when they get really upset by something that they see happening, especially if they have like a parasocial relationship with you, or if they're a fan of yours or they're invested in your work, they're going to get upset at the same time. And while I'm not saying that you should, tolerate people threatening you or harassing you, or even maybe being extremely insulting, I tolerate that in my community, but you don't have to. I certainly think that saying you are being Weasley in a conversation, while that does have negative connotations, it is also a descriptor of your behavior in the debate. And I just think deleting the whole thing and justifying it as saying that that's an ad hom and that if you tolerate that, you'd have to tolerate any amount of abuse from your community, just shows that you are emotionally compromised on this. Like, you're not up for hearing real pushback that would actually really matter and change the narrative here. And by deleting it, you are tipping the scales.
I disagree. God damn, Steven has contradicted himself. This is painful. It seems like he's trying to defend himself without being critical at all. It's almost gaslighting. He literally did the Britney argument. Fucking hell. This isn't good criticism. This is like emotional bait.
If he thinks you're gaslighting me, what does he want?
If he thinks I'm gaslighting me, then I don't ever want him in my community posting. If you're going to use the term gaslighting to describe a fucking internet debate while being that emotional a post, then go post somewhere else. I don't want you posting my subreddit. That's exactly why I banned those types of people.
There's a new rule in your subreddit that no one is allowed to tell you that you're gaslighting.
It's not a new rule in my subredddd. When people make
posts... It's an old rule.
Yeah, if you make a post, that's why there's a comment like 200 upvotes, so the guy's like, 07. When you... If you're making a post and you're like, Destiny is a bad faith gaslighter where he's weaseling all, it's like, bro, you're not engaging critically with any of the material at all. And the only thing like posts like that invite are other people to be like, yeah, Destiny's a fucking asshole, piece of shit, and it's like, bro, there's no engagement here. There's not a good engagement with anything that's actually being said.
Okay, in a span of 10 minutes, he says things like, I never said Nick isn't a Nazi, and, well, he is close enough to be called a Nazi, and I believe someone can hide his true feelings or I don't believe someone can hide his true feelings for half a decade without changing his beliefs. And then they describe that series of statements all being made in 10 minutes as gaslighting.
Yeah, but they remove the context from every single statement.
Well, that's fine. Like, you can push back against it.
No, that's not fine. If that's his engagement with the ideas, I just don't want something like this ever posted in my community. It's just a dumb fuck. And then on the sandwich of this,
500 upvotes of people who don't.
I don't care. There's a lot of dumb fucks in my subreddit. I don't care. If somebody wants to make like a good reason post, I don't know if somebody did or not, but there are like plenty of people that make good reason posts. Like, I think Destiny's super wrong here. I disagree with this or that, and they make them and they're fine. But like for something that is like this emotionally charged, that's just like stupid. Like the OP is just a dumb fucking post. Like at best, it's a surface level engagement, and then at worst, comments like, he literally did the Britney argument here. Fucking hell. Like, the fuck? Like, what this doesn't even, like...
Do you know what he means?
I don't care what he means. That just the fact that he would type that shows that he's, like, not on the level to, like, critically engage with the subject matter. In my opinion.
But if a post is approving of you and congratulating you, but written by a dumb fuck, in your estimation, do you delete that?
Depends on what the post is. If it's something congratulating me, but if it's like shitting on somebody else really relentlessly, yeah, I usually ban those people.
No, not shitting on anybody else, just saying that you won the argument, you were right. But they don't really provide a well-reasoned, thought-out, perfectly well-written argument as to why. They're a little sloppy. They just say, yeah, man, if somebody had said, man, MrGirl was gaslighting that whole conversation, Steven was totally right, he killed it. He nailed every point 100%. I can't really explain why, but I just know that he was right. You would have deleted that?
If they're not usually. If there's like posts was like, wow, that was a good conversation or whatever, then I probably wouldn't delete it, no.
Okay, so the rule is not against being inarticulate or being dumb. The rule is
I never said I had a rule against inarticulation or being dumb.
Okay, whatever.
The rule is that if you're going to
justification that he is not properly engaging with the material is not real. You deleted it because he fucking disagreed with you.
Go read my subreddit right now, and how many posts can you find up that are disagreeing with me over the past like 2 days? There's like 7,000 posts. Okay, so wait. No. So one, you're wrong. I don't just delete stuff because they disagree with me. Okay.
So
two, there's tons of people. Yes. When it comes to criticism, if you're going to be critical of something, criticism implies critical engagement. If somebody wants to make a post like, oh, wow, like I think that argument is cool, blah, 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 then fine, whatever, go off. But if you want to be critical, if you want to like levy criticism, then fine. But like you have to do it in a way that like shows like critical engagement with the subject matter.
Okay. So, what, you have more?
No, that's it. If somebody wants, there's plenty of people that are critical of me on my subreddit. You can argue.
I agree. I'm not saying that you never allow criticism of you. I'm not saying.
Sorry, that was the implication. When you say that you deleted something because it pushed back against you, the implication is that you delete all criticism. That's generally.
I don't think you do delete all criticism.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that's what the implication. It would be a workable strategy. There's plenty of official subs where people clear. There's plenty of official subs where people clear all criticism of themselves.
Yeah, but your brand is that you are open to feedback. Your brand is that you'll hear anything and good ideas win. And so therefore we have to hear all ideas. We have to have a marketplace of ideas. We have to have pushback. So you can't delete criticism of you. Some creators can do that.
Okay, but I deleted this criticism.
Yes, you did. You did.
And I typically will delete most criticisms where the post is like super, like lots of random personal attacks and bad critical engagement with the subject matter.
But what if, but your justification for deleting it doesn't make any sense.
It does. You just don't like it. So to you, you're saying it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so here's your stance.
Yeah.
If I understand it.
Go ahead.
People can criticize you and your subreddit, and they can disagree with you.
Yeah.
But if they're going to disagree with you,
mm-hmm.
they have to meet your standard of civility and saying that you are being weaselly in a debate or that you are gaslighting in a debate is too uncivil for you.
Okay. You are not phrasing that post charitably. If it was a well thought out, well reasoned post, and it included, like, I think he was being weaselly, the post would stand. If the post has almost zero critical engagement with the debate, starts out with a goddamn, this is painful, says I'm not being critical of myself at all, says that I'm doing a Britney argument, and that I'm gaslighting, that's not a post that's worth, like, even having on my sub. There's no good critical engagement there with what's going on at all.
I agree with the post, though. I agree with everything.
That's fine.
That
and there's sometimes people can post.
You did do the Britney argument.
I'm okay.
You did. You did. You said I'm just a wee little YouTuber who I don't have responsibility. Who cares what I think? I'm just a little drop in the ocean.
Okay.
That is the Britney. That's the Britney defense.
Hold on. You either missed the entire conversation or you are so unimaginably uncharitable with that interpretation. What I said was, I do not have the power to reclaim the meanings of words. I can't do that. Nobody on YouTube can do that. PewDiePie could not take back the meanings of words. Words like Nazi or racist or rapist or fascist or communist, those words don't mean anything anymore. That's what I said. And when you said, well, can't you make it so that those words do, or can't you? And I said, no, I'm powerless for that. That's gone. That is not the same as saying I have no responsibility. I've never said that before.
I think it absolutely is. I think the way these words are used in your community are basically defined by you and the handful of people you talk to.
Okay. I don't talk to just my community, so I totally disagree.
I'm not saying you do talk to just your community.
Okay, well, if I can control things in my community, I can't control when I associate with other communities how they take things. So why would I use a word in my community, make it a regular word in my community that means something different outside every other community? Why would I even do that? It's a fruitless endeavor.
I don't think it is.
Explain how.
I think the word Nazi is an important word, and we need it. We need it to be able to identify Nazis.
Okay.
I think that if you say to your viewers, your core base, when I use the word Nazi, here is what I mean. And you bring up a text definition on screen. You say, this is the definition of the word Nazi. It's a fascist who believes in racial hierarchy. Something like that. And you put it up every time you say it. Then anytime anybody in your sub says the word Nazi incorrectly, you're going to have 100 people jumping down the throat and saying, no, that's not how we use that word here. You could absolutely do that.
Why would I waste my time? So the first thing you said was
because it's important.
It's not important. It's super. It's probably one of the
that's
least.
Okay, but that's a different.
Well, let me finish. Hold on. I wrote down your thing, so now I'm responding to. You said we need Nazi to identify Nazis. That is wrong. Deductively, it is not true. We need Nazi, which is a classification of stuff that implies a whole bunch of different sub qualifiers or whatever, right? You can identify somebody as such by focusing on those subcategories. You don't need the word Nazi to identify a Nazi. You can identify all the bad things about a person without having to use that word. So number one, that's wrong. Number two, if you want to go point by point, we can, but you need to make a much shorter response to me so that I can make a much shorter response to you. If you're going to ramble for 5 minutes, I'm going to ramble for 5 minutes, okay? So we don't need Nazi to identify Nazi, okay? Two, oftentimes when the word Nazi is used, you're actually muddying the waters. You're giving cover to Nazis. The last big panel I did with Vosh was fighting against him, calling Bush and Antonin Scalia Nazis. or it might have been fascist actually. So even using these words, as soon as I use a word like this, what I have to do is I've got to define it immediately, which means I've already lost the power of the word and I'm engaging in more work than I need to. Why wouldn't I just attack? I'm going to finish talking. If you're going to do a thing, if you want to go granular, we can, but you're going to wait for me to finish. Okay. Granular. Okay, that's fine, right? So I don't agree that we need not to identify Nazis. I think that using the word just muddies the waters on everything. And then when you're saying, well, when I'm in my community, when you say Nazi, this is what I mean. I already do that. When I'm talking to just my community or when I'm talking to somebody, there are times where I'll say, I think this person is a fascist. And when I mean fascist, I mean he's actually like an authoritarian, ultra-nationalist, populist figure. I will go out and define it. But even me having to do that shows the futility of the word, because the only reason I would call somebody a fascist and then go on to define fascist is because I'm trying to bring in something from the word fascist that isn't implied by the definition, which is some amount of moral normativity. I'm saying they're fascist, meaning I'm saying they're bad, because why would I call somebody something and then tell you what the definition of that word is instead of just telling you the definition outright? That's why I think all of these word games are fucked. Okay, now go. Now, if you want to go like a point by point, we can do it. But if you talk now for 5 minutes, I'm going to give you another 5-minute response. Just letting you know.
Okay. Well, we have 2 topics on the table now.
Sure.
One is, do we need the word Nazi?
Okay.
And 2 is, do you have a large amount of control over how your community uses words? The Brittany argument that he was referring to is you claiming that you don't, and you just claimed that you don't again. When I pushed you on it, you said, okay, maybe I do, but who cares? So are we talking about whether or not you have control over how your community thinks of a word, which I think you obviously do, but we can argue that if you really want to keep saying you don't, or are we going to argue about whether you should?
We can do either one. I've written them both down. Whichever one you want, whatever path you want to go down.
Okay. When you said, well, who cares, or why would I waste my time doing that? Do you, to me, it sounds like you're conceding that you could. Do you agree with that?
I could make the effort. I don't know if I could effect the outcome.
What do you think?
I don't think I can.
Okay, so you don't think that if you told your community, when I use the word Nazi, I want you to understand this is what I mean, and when you use the word Nazi, I'm going to expect that this is what you mean. You don't think that that would change how people use the word in your subreddit?
No, I already do that on my stream. Like I already...
Yeah.
It happens when we talk philosophy sometimes. Like every single time I bring up begging the question, I explain what it means. This is what it means to beg the question. It's not raising a question. It refers to...
So why do you do that? If it's futile, why do you do that?
Because for some words, if it's a philosophy debate, and depending on who I'm talking to, it's nice to be more exact with the words you're using. But generally, I'm not. But like when I go off into the world, if I'm like in a debate with somebody, like on a stage or whatever, I'm probably not going to say like begging the question. I'm probably going to say your argument is circular, because begging the question just means raises the question. And there's even if in my own community I fight really hard for a particular term, I've lost control because my community doesn't only watch me, and people that I argue with don't watch me. So I kind of have to just engage with them at where they're at. And language is so out of my control for most people.
But in your community, I guess you're just saying that you just don't agree with this. Maybe we're going to just hit a dead end. I think that if you say, hey, the word Nazi is really important, because when you do something like call Bush a Nazi, here's why you shouldn't do that. I mean, I would even argue that you're already doing this. When you argue against the concept of calling Bush a Nazi, aren't you refining the definition of the word Nazi for your audience?
I'm just fighting back against them calling him a Nazi, because whatever moral weight or definition they're trying to bring in, there's no shot that Bush or Scalia is a Nazi or fascist.
If the word doesn't mean anything, then why did you just use it?
I didn't say that the word doesn't mean anything. I said, or let me be more precise.
It's lost all meaning, and that's ruined.
Yeah, when I say that, I'm incorrect. It is ruined, but it hasn't lost all meaning. That's an incorrect phrasing by that. Let me be more.
When you say Scalia isn't a Nazi, you're defining Nazi by saying that, right?
Let me be more precise. I'm not saying that the word has no meaning, but that doesn't mean that the word isn't ruined. The problem is that the word has tons of different meanings, but the meaning of that word is usually something that coincides with a feeling that the word user wants to convey about the subject that they're talking about. That's the problem. Okay. So I shouldn't say the word has no meaning, because it clearly has some meaning, but typically the meaning of that word is that it's conveying a feeling about the speaker towards a subject. That's my issue with the word.
If you're saying that's a problem with the way it's usually used, are you not right now arguing against that definition and by implication for another definition?
I'm arguing against that definition. I would argue in favor of an actual definition, but like when I'm engaging in conversations with people, I can't do the world as I want it to be. I have to get people where they are. I've got to treat people as they are. I've got to come at where people...
Yeah, but you're in a conversation with me. So right now, it sounds like you're using our agreed upon definition of the word Nazi. I also agree that Scalia is not a Nazi.
Sure. I think when you and I are talking, if you were to come on and you're like, I want to have a conversation whether or not I think a person is a Nazi, I'd probably use it in a pretty formal manner with you because we seem to have an agreed upon exact definition of the word. Sure.
Okay. So don't you think that through hours or years of watching you, that your fans are very likely, if somebody says Bush is a Nazi, to say that's not true. That's not what a Nazi is. And that the reason they'd be saying that is because they heard you say it. They heard you give a compelling argument for why it doesn't really make sense to call Bush a Nazi. It weakens a useful definition of the word and it's just turned into a playground insult.
Yeah, I do that when I hear people use these terms incorrectly.
Okay, so in the process of doing that, you are doing the thing that you're saying you're not able to do. You are changing the way that your audience uses the word. My problem with this is you seem to have very specific, strong convictions about what that word means and how it is used, except when it comes to Nick Fuentes. Then all of a sudden, it's fucking slipping through your fingers and you're hiding behind other people's misuse of the word to avoid having to just say, flat out, straight up, Nick Fuentes is a Nazi.
Okay, so when you say you are changing the way your audience uses the word, that is true. When I hear people use words and I don't think they're being used correctly, I'll typically fight back against the incorrect usages of those words. That's not the same thing, though, as insisting that I use those words in conversations in a way that I think is the correct way to force other people to do it. Those two things are not the same. For instance, if I'm in an argument with somebody and I hear them say feminism or toxic masculinity, and I hear them use it incorrectly, I'll almost certainly call them out. I'll say, well, hold on. Toxic masculinity doesn't mean this. I'll say that, and I'll correct that when I hear it used incorrectly. But that doesn't mean that I'll go forward into arguments with other people and utter those terms and hope that they've got my meaning or that everybody's going to be on the same page with me. I'll call people out when they're doing it incorrectly, but I'm not going to force my usage of it correctly onto other people because it's just going to lead. This is like a lesson that I learned years ago. It just leads to like quibbling and arguing over what the definitions of words or terms are.
Sure, but you have to have a definition for yourself in order to say things like Bush isn't a Nazi.
I don't think.
So when you can say Bush isn't, you know who isn't a Nazi. Bush isn't a Nazi. We know Hitler is a Nazi. But if I say to you, is Nick Fuentes a Nazi? I don't get a clear answer, and that's my whole problem.
I have no problem with you saying that Nick is probably a Nazi. I don't have a problem with that. The issue is
Nick Fuentes a Nazi?
It depends on how specific you want to. What is the definition you want to run with for Nazi? Tell me exactly.
Is Bush a Nazi?
Bush is absolute. I don't know any definition of Nazi where Bush qualifies as a Nazi.
Okay. Is Hitler a Nazi?
Hitler was quite literally the leader of the National Socialist Party of Germany. It was called the Nazi Party, and he seems to embody the ideals of the Nazi Party. So I'd say probably yeah.
Okay. In your definition, you can use whatever definition you want inside that fortune cookie you've got there, your dictionary.
Uh-huh.
Is Nick Fuentes a Nazi?
It is possible that in Nick's idealized or private version of his world, that he is indeed a Nazi. That is possible. In terms of the positions that he advocates for, I wouldn't say so. But he could be internally. That might be something even that he jokes about or inches towards. But it's not the movement, it's not the things that he advocates for.
What do you think? Or do you not have an opinion?
What do I think what?
Do you think he's a Nazi?
It's trying to divine like where somebody's mind is a game that I find futile. What is the advantage of me doing that? If I'm right, I gain nothing. And if I'm wrong, I lose everything. And I look like an idiot. Why wouldn't I just attack him or engage him with his prescriptions or his jokes? Those are the areas that I would go to fight. Why would I try to box with shadows when I'm trying to figure out what he might be in his head and then run the risk of either being totally wrong or run the risk of being correct? And then what's the next step? To fight on his positions.
Because if somebody operates in shadows, you have to box with shadows in order to push back. That's why.
Well, that's...
And you also gain a lot if you're right.
I don't gain anything. He's never going to expose him. It's not like I'm going to be like, well, Nick, like, don't you think this? And then all of a sudden he's like, I do want to kill all the Jews. Oh, shit, you got me. Like, that's never going to happen.
Well, if there's a train who's going to hit 5 people, and I flip a switch, and it doesn't hit them, and nobody ever knows I did it, did I gain anything?
I don't know how that's relevant here.
Well, what if you prevent bad things from happening by calling him a Nazi and being right. Now, calling him a Nazi and being wrong, I agree that would be wrong. But if you think he's a Nazi, then if you believe he's a Nazi, then you gain a lot from saying what you believe. Like, why? I just don't understand. You're willing to take such strong stances and make such strong statements about so many people, but when it comes to Nick Fuentes,
wait, what do you mean by that? Or what do you? I'll make strong statements related to Fuentes. I just don't like using broad labels generally because they're so misunderstood. Like, even in debates when somebody's like, what are you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of like a leftist. I'm kind of like a sock dem. I'm kind of like a center left. Like, no matter what label I say, I'm going to have to go in to describe, like, well, I'm a sock dem, but I'm not like a crazy progressive. But I am pretty progressive, but I'm not like for the, like the labels you've spent so much time arguing about what the labels even mean. Like, I would rather just attack him on the positions. And if he cowers from the positions, if he is a Nazi, the goal is to get him to admit that he's a Nazi through, like, argumentation or deduction, right? Like the question, like, would you rather date, a Somali woman that is, like, perfectly Christian, Catholic, wants to do blah, 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 or would you rather date, a white person that's, like, a weird LGBT person from San Francisco with blue hair, Forcing Nick to answer questions like that is more revealing of his true positions than just being like, I think you're a Nazi, Nick. It's like, okay, well, where the fuck do we go with that?
I don't think you have to say it like that. I don't think you have to yell it at him. I'm just asking you straight up, do you think Nick Fuentes is a Nazi? I guess your answer is that you don't know?
His policy positions and the movement he leads is not an expressly Nazi movement.
I know that.
I don't know. In terms of
that's why I'm asking you what you think of it. Obviously, I know that. That's the point. That's why we're having the conversation. If it was, there'd be nothing to talk about.
I don't try to divine. I don't try to figure out through whatever, like, the inner workings of a person's mind like that. It's just not something I usually bother with. If I do, I'm mistaken when I do it. But, like, I usually just try to engage with the ideas that people say, and then when we argue, I'll, push them around and see, what breaks or, where they're strong at, and then I kind of figure out from there.
Do you agree that in modern times, Nazis operate through confusion, semi-ironic humor, and plausible deniability?
Potentially, but I actually bit this argument from you. I think that political correctness ends up being the opposite side of a dog whistle, where people get so scared about seeing dog whistles and everything everywhere that everything becomes overly politically correct in an attempt to avoid the dog whistle. So rather than playing games, in that world where I'm trying to figure out, is he dog whistling? Is he a Nazi? Is he whatever? I would rather just okay, I'm going to meet him where he's at, and he can either own these policy positions or he can own these moral prescriptions, or he can back off of them and reveal his true colors, where he's a Nazi, if that's the case.
I think Nick is doing to you what you're doing to me right now.
What is that? Hey, what's up, Jidion? What is he doing?
Hey, Jidion.
What's up, bro? What's your name?
MrGirl or Max.
What's up, Max? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
What you're doing to me is you are creating confusion around the definition of words or what we're even talking about. Everything is spiraling off into different sides, and at the end of the conversation, nobody knows what you really think about Fuentes or Nazism or what a Nazi is, and you've created a bunch of tangentially related micro arguments that you can win. You set up and you win them really quickly. And so, if you look at the scoreboard, I'm losing by a lot because you've won 900 arguments. But there's only one or two that I'm trying to have with you. One is, do we need the word Nazi? And two is, do you have the power to define that word for your audience? And I don't think you've really answered either of those questions. So you won 900 arguments, but the two that we're having, you've evaded. And I think Nick is doing the same thing to you. He becomes, shadows. That's the whole point. Because he's not welcome in the daylight. I wish he were. I wish that YouTube would let a Nazi come on and say, I'm a Nazi and I want to kill all the Jews. And then we would know. We wouldn't have to just say, well, based on everything you've said, I have this big chart of every data point of everything you've ever said, and I've determined that statistically speaking, it's an impossibility that you're not a Nazi. You have to be a Nazi, given what you've said.
So here's why I disagree. You say that I'm creating confusion around the definition of words and what we're talking about. I disagree. I wish I could go back to the conversation. I think it might have been a lot of people in here. I think it was like Fuentes, Abba, Jidion, I think Don, Sneeko, and a couple other people were in that room. And I think at some point, people were literally asking like, oh my God, like, aren't you a Nazi or whatever? And Nick is very easily able to weasel around that word because who the fuck even knows what Nazi means? And he did it pretty effectively. And I think it wasn't until I stepped in and I started asking specific questions like, do you think white people and black people having children is degenerate? Once specific questions like that start coming out, it's a lot harder for him to get away from that than for me going, aren't you a Nazi who believes in racial hierarchical structures? Well, you know, I mean, is there a racial hierarchy? I don't know if I'd say that. Like, white people are different than black people who are different than Asian people, and they should blah, 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 blah. Like, using this word Nazi.
But that's what
you're doing. Hold on, wait. Remember, anytime
that's what
you,
you're
wait.
now.
No. Anytime you ramble, I'm going to ramble. So I just wrote down everything you said, so I'm responding to everything you said, okay? I'm not the one creating the confusion. I think I'm the one that's looking for clarity by having real conversations about the real ideas and the real policy positions, not hanging on to a word and trying to bring it in and like make everything fit, like, is he a Nazi here? I don't care about that. I don't want somebody to dislike somebody because they're a Nazi. I don't care how they feel about somebody.
Disliking him,
Let
bro.
me finish. Okay, if somebody doesn't like somebody or if somebody doesn't like their policies or thinks they're evil, I want it to be because they know specifically where that person stands on certain moral or political issues, right? That guy's a Nazi. Okay, I don't know anything about that. That guy's opposed to misogyny. He doesn't think that interracial marriages should happen, and he thinks gay people should be killed. Okay, those are strong positions that I don't think I would like that person. I prefer the latter to the former because in this media environment, when somebody says Nazi, that word means fucking nothing, okay? When you say this, hold on, I've got it. If you want to go granular, we can go. But when you ramble a lot, I'm gonna ramble.
This isn't granular. You're just fucking.
No, we're not granular.
You're gaslighting me. You're gaslighting me.
You can look at my stream. I literally wrote down everything you said, and I'm responding point by point.
You have a list of things to not respond to.
No, I'm writing down everything you're saying. If you want to talk a lot, I have to. Okay, so you said nobody really knows what you think. Everybody knows exactly what I think. They might not know, I guess, like my precise definition of the word Nazi, but they know where I stand on all the moral issues. They know where I stand on the policy issues. And when I argue with somebody, they know where they stand on the moral issues and policy issues. And that's more important than whether or not we all agree on what the word Nazi or fascist means and if we've applied the label correctly. Because who the fuck cares? And then when you say you're creating...
I care. Obviously, I care.
You say when you're creating confusion around the definition of words, what we're talking about, wrong. Bringing in those words, I think, is what creates the confusion. I think that I'm providing clarity by focusing on the actual subject matter and not focusing on trying to use the words. When you say nobody really knows what you think, or I'm just creating micro arguments, everybody knows what I think. They might just not know how I apply a really broad word like fascist or communist or whatever, but they know very precisely or specifically where I stand on a given issue that we're talking about. When you say, do we need the word Nazi? I wish we had words like that were highly descriptive, but all of them have been destroyed. And I've said it a million times. Nazi, pedophile, racist, rapist, transphobic. I don't know what any of these words.
Absolutely need these words.
But they're gone now. They're already gone. We've lost them.
They're not gone. When you use them frequently.
When you said, do you have the power to define that word to your audience? I kind of do, but when I use them, I have to define them every time. And it's frustrating.
Yes,
but I do it. I do that. I'll say like, man, this guy's like transphobic. And when I say transphobic, I mean he like actually wants to get rid of like HRT. I got to define it every time, which shows that the words are destroyed. And then when you say he becomes shadows, he's not welcome in the daylight, the way that he remains a shadow is by trying to use the word Nazi instead of bringing him out and exposing his particular positions. Okay, if you want to go point by point, we can, but I'm writing down as you speak, and if you speak a lot, I will respond a lot. Okay, go ahead.
But I think you're literally gaslighting me. These are not the points I'm making. You're not responding to the points I'm making. You're setting up straw man after straw man.
I'm writing down your exact words.
No, you're responding to things like, oh, I don't think we should not like somebody because of a label. I didn't fucking say that. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Obviously, then you also said, I think it's more important to engage with his positions than it is to call him a Nazi. I didn't say it wasn't. I'm not saying one is more important than the other, and they're not mutually exclusive. Another fucking false dichotomy that you smuggled in your response as though that's what I said. I didn't say any of the shit you're responding to. My message is very clear, and I'm going to have to end up repeating myself over and over until you either make it clear you're just not going to respond.
Just give me the specific. Okay, hold on. Give me the specific question. I will write it down word for word, and I will respond to it. Give me the specific question. What is your specific point that you think I'm evading or avoiding?
Two things. One is that I think we need the word Nazi, and given that you use it and protest about the way it is used, I think you also think we need to use the word. The only time I'm hearing you, you're telling story after story of yourself using the word, arguing against other people using the word, and arguing over the definition of the word. So it seems like usually you're in agreement with me about the fact that this word should be used explicitly to describe people who fit your and my definition of Nazi, which I believe is pretty similar. So, except when it comes to Nick Fuentes, you say, who cares? I don't care about that word. I don't care about calling people a Nazi. Well, then why can't I call Bush a Nazi? If you don't care about who's a Nazi and who isn't, then why can't I call Bush? Then when I ask you, is Nick Fuentes a Nazi? You say 500 words in response. It's a yes, no, or I don't know, or I don't know yet. But you have interrogated him about his policy positions for weeks or months or years. You have your own definition of Nazi. So why can't you make a determination? Like, isn't it kind of weird that you don't know if he's a Nazi at this point?
I already gave you an answer to that. But when you ask me, is he a Nazi? That's a very simple sentence. Do you understand that there's a lot of... Okay, well, the actual answer, definitionally, to your question is a resounding no. Okay. If you want to play hardcore, he's not a National Socialist. So the answer is no.
No. By your definition... No,
hold on.
Wait. When you say the actual definition, are you now smuggling in a new definition that you can hide behind instead of yours?
Well, no. If you want to be... If you want to be...
Definition, your definition of Nazi, is Nick Fuentes a Nazi?
Hold on, stop. If you want to be ultra fucking 100% we get out with the dictionary, does he belong to the National Socialist Party of Germany? No. Do you want to ask me if he's a neo-Nazi or if he belongs to a neo-Nazi party? What I'm trying to make you understand is that you feel like your questions are simple and demand simple answers, but they're not.
Yes.
The words are everything in these statements is incredibly complicated and loaded.
There's two sides of this question. One is, what do you think Nick Fuentes believes? And the other is, what do you think is a Nazi? And I'm asking you if the two things line up. That's it. And it's a mystery what Nick Fuentes truly believes, because he won't say what he truly believes.
I don't care.
He's dodgy and evasive.
It doesn't matter if he says what he truly believes. I can fight him on what he says. And those are the things that we'll fight about. You can't live...
You are changing the frame of what I'm asking you. There are two sides to this question.
I don't care about the second side. That's the point. I don't care about what a Nazi is.
That's fine if you don't care about it, but let me finish. There's two sides to the question. What is Nick Fuentes? What is Nazi? And should we put an equal sign between them? When I ask you about the Nick Fuentes side, you say, who cares what he is? So you evade that question. You say, I don't know. Even after hours of talking with him or weeks of talking with him, I don't know. I don't know what his true stance is, and it doesn't matter. I don't want to know. Okay, well, you don't want to know, you don't know. Those are all the same. Basically, it's a big question mark, a big cloud of confusion from you. You don't know what Nick Fuentes' positions are.
No, stop saying that. You're lying. I know what Fuentes' positions are. You probably don't know what his positions are because you're so obsessed with the word Nazi. You just want me to try to see if I can get some positions.
If you know what his positions are, then why are you talking about trying to divine his inner being?
Because you're the one that's telling me that his positions might not be congruent with what's in his head. You're the one
Do you think that's an accurate assessment, that his positions are likely not congruent with what's in his head?
It might be, it might not, but it's not my job to figure that out. That's not what I'm trying to do unless it's painfully
I'm not saying
obvious.
It is your job. That is your job if I'm asking you this question and you're attempting to answer it, though. Again, there's two sides to the equal... No, you're just changing the subject. There's two sides to the equal sign. One is, what is Nick Fuentes? And we can say, what are his policies or who is he underneath? Obviously, since I'm calling him a liar and a sneaky manipulator, obviously I'm referring to what is he underneath.
I can tell you that there's
let me finish. I'm saying, what is he going to do if he gets power? And so to assess that, I said, do you think he would commit genocide if he were the dictator? And you said, yeah,
maybe
I think
there's a chance.
You said I think there's a much greater chance of him doing that than the average person.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so again,
but these are inductions that I don't gain anything by engaging in this level of induction.
I'm not talking about what you gain from it. This is a moral imperative that I'm saying you have.
It's not a moral imperative. We're talking about language here.
Obviously, my claim is that you have a moral imperative to answer these questions and to know the answers to these questions for yourself and to make them clear publicly. And you have a moral imperative to take pushback from your audience when you are risking transferring wealth and power to a literal Nazi. When you are taking that risk, I believe you have a moral imperative to get over your fucking feelings being hurt by somebody calling you weaselly in an argument and not delete a towering criticism of you from your community with 500 fucking upvotes. I think you have a moral imperative to not do that. So I'm not saying you're going to gain anything from following my advice. In fact, I can almost guarantee you that your personal gain will be best served by you befriending Nazis and platforming them. It makes, as long as you don't get banned, it makes you sexy and makes you dangerous. It gives you access to a whole group of people who secretly have Nazi beliefs and are going to feel warm and want to, join your community for that. It will broaden your horizons in a way that cozying up to the left never could.
Yo,
Absolutely.
MrGirl, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, obviously I just got in here, but from what I gathered, is your stance on, I'm guessing you don't believe in that ideology, right?
The Nazi ideology?
Yeah.
I don't agree with Nazis, no.
Oh, okay. Well, let me rephrase that. Do you agree with Nick Fuentes and stuff?
No.
Okay. So since you don't agree with that, is your thing is you're trying to say, okay, yeah, these people are bad, but they shouldn't be deplatformed because we need to be able to point them out?
I believe that there is a problem with the way social media companies boost ideas that get strong emotional reactions from people. So the way they work now, I think it's dangerous to have him on YouTube, but the solution to that is for YouTube to not boost. They just have to change their algorithms, but I don't think deplatforming is the solution. So I don't want to see Nick Fuentes erased from the internet. I think he should be allowed to have a YouTube channel, even though I strongly disagree with his ideas.
So you're strongly against deplatforming.
Yeah.
I would say me too. I'm against deplatforming because me being a black man, I would much rather have someone be outwardly racist to me than as I like to coin liberal racism, where it's semantics and generally they use the things of gentrification and hiding behind big words or big phrases. Me personally, I would rather someone's yeah, that dude's just straight up racist, he has his channel over there. Everybody that's subscribed to that channel or listens to him, they're pretty much a racist. It's oh, okay, so now I know to stay away from them.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think that because we're so intolerant of that, it forces people like Nick Fuentes, who I believe is a Nazi, to hide his beliefs and create confusion around who he is and what he wants to do. And because this has happened, and it seems like Fuentes is a Nazi who is trying to create confusion around who he is, I have some criticisms for Destiny Steven here, having chicken and waffles with him and making him seem like a quirky, dorky, Christian, awkward around women, innocent kid, because he's not.
So, Destiny, what is your opposition to what MrGirl is saying?
So I believe that in today's climate of political discourse on Twitter everywhere around the world, I think that a lot of the words that we've used have become so watered down that instead of them actually conveying meaning about a person, they just tell us how the author or speaker feels about a person. So for instance, when I hear somebody say, John is a rapist, what I'm really hearing somebody say is, John is a person that I really don't like who has maybe done rude or bad things to women, but I don't know what that means anymore, because rapist to you might mean that he literally drugged a woman and forcibly penetrated her, or it might mean that he tried to sext with her when she said no, or sent her a dick pic that she didn't want, because people use that word to mean so much now. Or when somebody calls somebody a fascist or a Nazi, that guy's a Nazi, what do you mean? Oh, well, he's got a Blue Lives Matter flag. Well, that doesn't make you a Nazi. Or someone says he's a fascist. How do you know he's a fascist? He voted for Trump. Well, that doesn't make you a fascist.
Is Harvey Weinstein a rapist?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Is Bill Cosby a rapist?
Bill Cosby, probably. That's a really hard one too, but not because of what he's accused of doing, but because of the way that all those trials went down is more complicated. But can
you finish
I would have to look at the Weinstein stuff. I don't know 100% what was going on with that, but the Cosby stuff, the way that went down, there's a reason why that conviction got overturned. But I don't know the Harvey Weinstein stories 100%. I know that he used his position of power, but I don't know if he engaged in forcible rape or anything like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at the stuff. But so because these words have gotten so watered down or so fucked, usually when I'm engaging somebody in a conversation, what I just want to find out is what do you believe? And then I want to like hit on those points. So when I'm given somebody like Fuentes, the way that most people will argue with Fuentes is they'll be like, okay, well, aren't you a Nazi? Like, you're a Nazi, and I think Nazis are really bad. Like, you're a fascist, dude. Like, that's kind of all that they're doing. They're using those words to bring out the more weight of those words to attack the person, and then that's kind of it. And I feel like people that watch that conversation don't really get swayed one way or another. If you don't like Nazis or people called Nazis, you're not going to like them. If you do like them, it's not going to do anything. But if you like can penetrate those words and move past them and be like, okay, well, what do you think about this or this? And actually engage with the ideas. I like that approach way more, because then I can actually like move a conversation forward to either condemn somebody for a particular belief or change their mind on something. That's usually what I prefer.
So from what I'm hearing, it's just like, it really sounds like you guys aren't too far off from each other. So where's like the disagreement coming at?
The disagreement is that I believe that Fuentes is using Steven to create confusion and ambivalence in his fans about how they feel about Fuentes, and so they don't know what he believes, they don't know who he is, they don't know what he's doing, and I think that Steven is playing into his hands by being unwilling, for whatever reason, to come up with what he, after hours of talking to Fuentes, to either say, okay, I get who this guy is, or to acknowledge for some reason, I still don't know who this guy is. I've been talking to him for weeks or years, I still don't really know who he is enough to call him a Nazi, or to admit that he's just unwilling to use this word, or I guess any fucking word, and have a strong sense of any definition of any word as long as the conversation is centered around Fuentes. I think that I think he's boosting Fuentes enormously by doing this, and Fuentes is worming his way into Steven's community.
No, I feel that, you know. I feel like he's also doing the same thing with Sneeko, you know.
Absolutely.
One thing I noticed when we had that big debate, like even when Destiny would interrupt him or anything like that, usually when someone continuously gets interrupted, it's like, you know what? Okay, you keep on interrupting me, I'm gone. But like you know, with him being banned and him only having his network, he can only use Destiny's platform or Sneako's platform, because let's be honest, man, who's gonna clip up Nick's shit and post it up on TikTok if it's not from Destiny's stream or if it's not from Sneako's stream?
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's clipping up that shit from Cozy TV and posting it. So like right. I do really think that he is using both of y'all. That's why
absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah.
That's why me personally, like, you know, I think I've only talked to him like twice. Mm-hmm. Like it's like, okay, I got the rundown of who he is. You know, I don't like what he stands for, and you know, I don't wish any ill will towards him. But me personally, I don't want to have him on my stuff. So
I wish ill will towards his career, not towards him.
Yeah, you know, that's fair enough. But like, you know, I'm not gonna like platform it, like to an extent. We all use people, you know, like if I have Destiny on my stream, you know, I'm using Destiny. Or if, you know, whenever I join his, he's using me. Or if he reacts to one of my videos, he's using me. If I react to one of his videos, he's using me. But it's one of those mutual things. Whereas, like, I feel unless, you know, Destiny thinks it's, like, good content and stuff, then obviously, you know, keep on having Nick on. But, like, I just feel like, you know, if you do, I feel like you have to know what he's about and everything. So it's like, what new ground is there to tackle with
I think
Destiny?
With
Nick.
The question is, what does Fuentes want to use you for? So when you and Steven go on each other's streams, you're using each other for money or views or clout or whatever, like that's fine. Fuentes doesn't want that. Fuentes wants to be a political power. He wants to be president or more than president. He wants power. And when he has that power, Steven has said there is a chance he's going to commit genocide. He certainly wouldn't rule it out. So when he's using you to grow his platform so that he can perhaps kill you or me or people like us or gay people, I don't think it's the same. I don't think you should be saying, oh well, if it's good content, do it. I don't agree with that.
Hold on.
At
So
all.
to be clear, my statement has never been it's good content, do it. So my issue is that what I've seen.
I know, but that's what Jidion just said. I'm responding to what he said.
My bad. The implication was that was my reason. My bad.
No,
Maybe
I know your reasoning is different.
Okay.
But you saying your reasoning does not counteract my reason for you to not do it.
Sure.
you are transferring power and wealth to somebody who may want to commit mass murder.
Sure.
I feel like, you know, this is a conversation. I know you're talking to Destiny about it, but like I feel like this conversation is more warranted towards Sneeko, because if anything, like when we had him on the debate, like it was crazy. Like his whole chat was W Nick, W Nick, W Nick, W Nick, or like it was the whole comment section being like, "But we need more of Nick, man. I like Nick," or it's like, "I didn't know about this Nick guy before, but I really like him."
That's Steven's fault, right?
I don't know how Sneeko got introduced to Nick. Me personally, like
Okay,
but
So to be clear, Sneeko's community was like watching clips of Nick, and he was promoting stuff before I ever interacted with him. Although even if it was the other way around, I don't think I would care. But
so, MrGirl, I just feel like you're.
I think that Steven's connection to Sneeko and Steven's sanitization of Fuentes played a large role in why Sneeko brought him onto that panel. Am I incorrect in assuming that?
it could be true. It's not impossible.
Do you think it's probable that if you hadn't? I mean, I think that having another friendly face on the panel and knowing that all three of you mutually know each other, you don't.
I mean, Sneeko was bringing him on without me being involved. That's the only reason I jumped on this. I saw Nick was there, and I knew that shit was gonna get wild. And Abba was messaging me, and I was messaging him, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like Fuentes is about to go off on some wild shit." So that's why I hopped in. But that was before I was ever invited to that panel. So I didn't agree to set that up. I would have never agreed to set something like that up. That was Sneeko dragging him on.
Okay, but do you agree that you platforming Fuentes is creating a lot of opportunities for him to have these conversations with other people that are not going to involve you, and people who are much less equipped to argue with him or push back?
Yeah, it's potential. There's a potential for that.
It's not potentially. It's absolutely. I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, of course he's going to reach out to every fucking person that he possibly can. He's reached out to me too. I've been invited on tons of different panels with Fuentes, and every single time somebody invites me on a panel with him, I say I will interview him one-on-one. We can have a weird, intimate MrGirl conversation. That's it. I'm not going to go on a game show with him. I'm not going to debate January 6th with him. I'm not going to do whatever the fuck else I've been invited to do with him. Every single time I've said no. But there's a lot of people who are going to say, yeah. I mean, Steven, are you really not going to acknowledge that you have paved the way for this to happen?
I'm not. Hold on. Stop trying to act like I'm hiding from owning the logical conclusion of anything that happens. Obviously,
you said it's possible. You said it's possible. That's hiding. That is hiding. I'm not acting like you're hiding. You are hiding, and I'm calling it out. Do you think you've paved the way for this to happen or not?
You were dead wrong. I'm just being careful with my language, especially since you were like fucking like vernacularly assassinating me with every imprecise term that I use, okay? It is almost certainly the possibility, okay? It's almost certainly likely.
What the fuck does that almost certainly the possibility? That's my next t-shirt.
Because the reality is you don't actually know. Hold on, wait, hold on. Okay,
let
me ask you. Do you know 100% that Nick, hold on. Do you know 100% that Nick would have talked to Sneeko if it wasn't for me?
That is not.
No, stop. Answer that question. Answer the question. Do you know 100% that Nick wouldn't have talked to Sneeko if it wasn't for me?
I don't know that for 100%.
No, stop. No. The answer is no. You can't know that. You can't know that. Okay. So don't tell me that it's 100%. So I will be honest. I'll tell you.
I didn't say it's 100%.
Okay.
I said
then I'm being clear.
Probable. Probable means 51%.
Okay. Yes, it's probable / possible / whatever. More likely. I'm increasing the likelihood.
No, probable / possible is you evading. No, literally the question. Oh,
yeah.
You can sigh dramatically, but you're fucking gaslighting me.
I'm not. Stop saying I'm gaslighting you.
Okay, I want to talk uninterrupted for 10 seconds. Will you just shut up for 10 seconds?
Okay, I think you've talked for the majority of this conversation. We go for it.
That's because you've been gaslighting me and creating confusion for the majority of the conversation. Possible means less than 50% or more than 50% or just means more than 0%. Probable means more than 51%. So if I ask you a question and you say it's possible or probable, all that means is it's not 0%, which doesn't mean anything because we already knew that before I asked you. And the only reason I'm asking you is because I'm saying I think you're paving the way for him, and you're not even willing to admit that you fucking like you, a huge content creator with people we call orbiters, because you give them careers and create paths and relationships for them to network with other creators, are not even willing to acknowledge that you are probably paving the way for Fuentes to grow his base. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you think that's something that I wouldn't say?
I just asked you to say it, and you said, I think it's possible or possible / probable or whatever.
That I'm increasing his exposure to his audiences. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's pretty
yes,
easy.
But the fact that you make it take 5 minutes to get you to concede.
Because when I say something, you come back later and you're like, oh, well, the way that you use this word technically here is you actually said that, blah, blah. Okay, sorry. So I'm just trying to be as precise with my language as possible. Okay?
You're
or
being
as probable.
less precise. You are being less precise intentionally to filibuster and to create confusion. So now whatever Jidion came in here to talk about or ask is gone. The conversation is dead in the water. I respond to him and you say, wait a second, I didn't say that. Every fucking turn, you are derailing the conversation into nothingness and then complaining that I'm talking too much.
Okay.
There's two sides of the equation.
Give me like 5 seconds to just really quickly, okay? So
Sure.
The question was posed to me about whether or not I'm going to assume am I increasing the likelihood of Fuentes becoming connected with larger figures that I'm becoming connected with? The answer to that is obviously yes. Of course, I know that.
No, the question wasn't. No, I assumed that, and I assumed you would also bite the bullet on that. But then you disagreed with it, and then I had to ask you the question. Because you stuck your foot out and tripped me while I was in the middle of making a different point. Then we had to have a 5-minute side conversation about, does it help your career to talk to Destiny? Gee, I don't know. I guess it's possible/probable. And then we have to have a meta argument about that, and then bring in a meta argument about all the other meta arguments that we've had. When actually, you could have just not said anything and let me finish my fucking point.
Okay. Did that answer your question, Jitty?
Yeah, man, I pretty much followed it and everything.
Do you see that he is being slippery?
Who? You talking about Nick or
no? Steven is being slippery.
Nick, Steven, what's the difference of this? I'm sorry.
I just feel like Destiny, you know, because I feel like he's trying to do the right thing. You know, whenever Nick does come on these platforms, he tries to debunk it for everybody. But I feel like also Destiny has to realize that, you know, what might be sound and true for most people, it could sound like, you know, quote unquote woke liberalism, or, you know, someone just has to interject and be like, oh, you stupid lib.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything he's saying is negated. So, you know, it's sad, but like, you know, it's going worse today. Like younger kids are more siding with conservative views because, you know, the liberal side is kind of a little bit overbanned right now. And all those conservative views, although some are good, you know, you have the bad ones, like Nick slips under, you know.
Wait, Jidion, you're going to catch a stray bullet right now. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you platformed the Ku Klux Klan in your video by giving them a full-on interview. What's the difference between what you did and what Destiny's doing?
Have the people that Jidion interviewed from the Ku Klux Klan...
I want Jidion to answer, and then you can go.
Also, real quick, wait, before you answer that question, because I was trying to trap you right now. It's possible that your thoughts could have changed since then as well. Just giving you that out, but go ahead.
No, I'm gonna be straight up. Like, you know, yeah, he's platforming him. Yeah, I platform the Ku Klux Klan. But my thing is, you know, it's one thing if I go there one time and do it, and, you know, I leave it at that. But what my thing is like, you know, I platform Nick too. He was on my stream. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. My name's in on it, so I could.
I think it's worse to platform the Ku Klux Klan than there's Nick Fuentes, but that's just me.
But what I'm saying is, it's like if every video I'm over here trying to tackle new ground with the KKK, it's just like I'm just straight up, basically, in part, just becoming a, you know, KKK hub mind just to have them talk. That's what I'm saying. It's just like it's one thing talking about it, but like. If there's new, because like how long have they been beefing for years? Like I don't know how long
you has been beefing for a long time.
No, I'm talking about you and Nick. Like how long have you?
Sorry, yeah, probably like 5 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, if you don't like his views and you don't agree with anything, like what my point is just like, you know, what new ground is there to tackle?
Okay, Jidion, I have a couple things to ask you.
But hey, Abba, you smart, man. You got me there a little bit.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Don't worry. He didn't get you at all.
He was just gaslighting
you. He's just fucking with you. It's a fake argument. So, did any of the people that you talked to from the KKK, are they streamers to your knowledge or content creators?
The biggest content I think they make is just them preaching at their church and putting up billboards, so not too much influence.
Right. To your knowledge, do any of them want to be, or are they to have a career in politics where they're connected to Congress people and trying to become president of the United States?
One of the KKK guy's son is like a district attorney.
That's cool.
You know, I don't know what other power they hold.
Okay, but you didn't really help that guy's career by doing this, I guess is my point. That they're not trying to plug into your social network, right? These KKK guys, they're not showing up on your panels, or you're not seeing them. Like, here's what happened to Steven. He did some content with Fuentes, and then he looks at it on his stream, and he sees a bunch of black guys hanging out, and then so all of a sudden Fuentes is there. Is that shit happening to you with your KKK people? Like, are you seeing like a bunch of people that you know, your colleagues, streaming, and then all of a sudden one of those KKK guys is there, and he's like, "Oh, hey guys, it's me from Jidion's stream. Now I'm famous." Has that happened to you?
No, that hasn't been happening. But
Okay.
what I will
So
say
that's-
is,
that's
you know,
pretty different.
like, it is, but I feel like it's a different case though, because, you know,
Yes,
mine's a bunch of old white guys. And,
exactly.
you know,
that's probably
Destiny's
why
dude
that's
is,
probably why it
younger.
wasn't. Yeah, that's why it's not the fucking same. It's not risky for you to talk to those people because you know that you're not actually you're not giving them a career. Most likely, you're not transferring a huge amount of power and wealth and audience to these people, and they don't even want it. They weren't trying to do that. Also, last question: those people that you interviewed, they're not lying about their beliefs, right? They're out KKK members, and they are open about their racist beliefs, and they were open to having them genuinely challenged. I think it's a little different from Fuentes lying about what he believes, explicitly saying, "I'm going to hide my anti-Semitic, pro-Nazi beliefs in jokes so that nobody knows what I'm saying and nobody can call me out on anything."
That's not true. I mean, they did soften a lot of their approaches to their racist ideology. They were very diplomatic in their response. One can easily make the argument that the way that they presented themselves in the Jidion video was incredibly deceptive in order to make themselves feel more appealing and neutral when actually they're far more insidious. We have no way of knowing because we can't get into their heads and shadow box them. But
that's possible. But have they ever stated publicly that they are going to lie about their beliefs so you don't know what they are? No.
I repeat that.
Have these KKK guys that Jidion talked to ever stated publicly, "I am going to lie about my beliefs so you don't know what they are"?
No.
But
my mic is overblown right now. I don't know why. Gain is up, volume is low. That's what it sounds like anyway. But
all right, is this better?
Yes. What did you do? Wait, what did you do?
I just turned down the gain.
Oh, do that every time. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so Fuentes has said that. Fuentes has said, to create plausible deniability for my anti-Semitic and Holocaust denial beliefs, I am going to pretend that I'm joking when I'm really not.
Okay, so he's admitted to the fact that he would lie for his own benefit. I don't really care. It doesn't really change anything for me because I feel like everybody would lie for their own benefit in order to further their cause.
Okay, so then why do you ever interview anybody? You actually don't see a difference. So if you and I were going to do a stream, and right before I did the stream with you, you saw me say on Twitter, "Hey, I'm gonna lie to Abba about everything I'm about to say because I think
No, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. What you're saying is that he's saying he's going to lie to me before the interview. Well, the difference between what you're saying right now and what you stated before is people admitting, like, yeah, there's situations in which I would lie to further my political goals. Not the same as him saying, I'm going to come on this interview and specifically lie. In fact, MrGirl, I could imagine... Okay, go ahead.
That's not the comparison I'm making. I'm saying just because you imagine that people lie to help themselves, that's different from a political pundit whose sole goal in life is to spread his political views and gain political power, saying, not just I'm going to lie about X, I'm going to lie about my desire to genocide people. I'm going to lie about the fact that I am a Nazi, and I'm going to make it into a joke. Do you see how that's different? Interviewing somebody like that and then saying, well, we can't really take what he says at face value versus just interviewing somebody.
Maybe
that doesn't change anything for you?
It doesn't change anything for me because when it comes to the political sphere, I feel like the vast majority of them will lie in regards to their positions on things in order to further their political cause. So for me, if you're asking me whether I think one or the other is more honest, I think most people would agree that they probably would prefer the person who says they admit to lying than the person
when the average person lies, you might imagine what they're lying about, right? You can imagine if you could peek behind the veil of the lie, you would see something. For most people, that something is not genocide. What Nick Fuentes has told us is that it is. He's saying, the thing I'm hiding is that I'm a Nazi. So you can say, yeah, anybody could be lying, so who knows? But with Fuentes specifically, the thing he's hiding is that he wants to commit genocide.
Okay. All right, so now bring this back to the original
Do you care
argument.
about that?
Do I care about the gravity of the lie that he's telling? Sure.
Okay, so that is why all of those things taken together, I think it's a little different, and I think it's a gaslighting side tangent that you've brought us on once again to fucking confuse us from what we're actually trying to talk about. That's why I think it's pretty different for Jidion to interview the KKK in a conversation where he has pretty much control over what's going to happen in the aftermath of this conversation. And me pointing out to Steven, hey, you've kind of set this Fuentes guy free, and now he's inviting himself onto panels with people and reaching out to people that he never would have had access to in the first place. It would have been really weird for you to be on a panel with like, for a Nazi to be on that panel. That would be really weird, but Steven's made it not weird. Now it's not weird to see Fuentes show up anywhere.
So, MrGirl, what do you think the repercussions is going to be with Nick Fuentes like growing in popularity?
I don't know. I'm afraid of the worst.
What's the worst in your opinion?
The worst is he becomes a dictator and you know, puts a lot of people in death camps. That would be the worst. That's the worst case scenario.
How the fuck would he become a dictator?
Well, it seems like a good path to becoming a dictator now involves convincing the country that democracy doesn't exist and that if you lose an election, the people who won the election are lying. Convincing people that everybody who's acting democratically is against you in a plot and that they're all lying to you, which seems apparently pretty easy to do.
I understand what you're saying, but like, there's just
I'm not saying it's likely. That's not true that there's no way. It's very unlikely. But yeah, that's the worst case scenario. I think what's more likely is that he grows his fan base and to a pretty large degree, and then kind of burns out at some point in like his late 20s or 30s and just kind of crashes. But before then, I think that he will, like he did at the January 6th insurrection, cause death, terrorism, stochastic terrorism, planned terrorism, minorities and LGBT people being physically attacked and harmed, inspiring this stuff. Yeah, I think so. I think the
So is he radical? Is he like? Is he
yeah,
radical?
he's a fucking crazy person. He was there at January 6th, screaming at people to go into the Capitol and take their country back, meaning kill Congress people and kill Mike Pence. Yes, he's radical.
Okay.
Right, and so you assume that, oh, he's Sneako's friend or he's Steven's friend. You don't know that. You didn't know that he got a subpoena from Congress to come and talk to them about his role in the January 6th insurrection, right? You wouldn't know that. He seems just like, you think he's just another funny conservative, but he's actually a fucking crazy person, and he's been let into your living room by Steven. He's a Nazi. He's a literal Nazi.
Like,
he wants to
I'm
kill
gonna
you.
be honest with you. Hold up, Jidion. I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question. When you hear the word Nazi, Jidion, do you get like a shiver down your body? Do you give a shit, or am I the only one who's just like, I hear Nazi, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what that shit means anymore.
Bro, now when I hear Nazi, I just think of like white people with Confederate flags. Like, I don't even
Okay,
like,
let me tell you what it
means.
means.
Be honest, because I hear him, and listen. Obviously, me and Jidion have had extensive conversation about how bad we think he is. So it's not like we're sitting here not thinking he's an absolute terrible person. Absolutely, both agreed on it. But it's just funny hearing you go off about this and just using the word Nazi. Because to me, honestly, I don't really care about the term. I just want to know what his fucked up positions are, because I feel like that's far more relevant.
I just feel like you think like he's gonna be like Hitler and like how Hitler like grew in political power.
Yeah, let me.
Like, I feel like you think
let me
he's
tell
the
you.
Hitler, and I don't think he's ever gonna be that.
And I think the issue that probably me and you also have, Jidion, is we've heard so many people use the word Nazi for like innocuous forms of like minor or even like non-real racism, that now I hear the word people use it and I'm just like, bruh, like what is this supposed to mean? You guys have butchered this word so bad.
I'll tell you what it means. It means that he's a fascist.
Yes, I don't know what that means either anymore.
I'll explain that now too. It means he doesn't believe in democracy. It means he wants a top-down authoritarian government with himself as dictator. It means he wants to impose his beliefs on you, and he doesn't want you to have free speech. And most importantly, it means he believes in ethnic cleansing, meaning he wants to kill you, kill your family, kill me, kill my family, kill gay people, kill anybody who doesn't fit his perfect idea of what a good genetic specimen of the human race is.
See, if you'd have just said that, you probably would have got me to listen a lot more than if you just said he's a Nazi. I really don't care about that word.
Well, you should.
Well, I appreciate you telling me what I should care about, but I just told you I prefer.
Doesn't sound like you do.
No, I don't. But the other stuff that you mentioned, that's way more interesting. That's what I'm trying to say. So as a normie, okay, someone who's not part of this debatosphere or whatever you guys got going on.
No.
I'd rather just hear the policy.
The reason you don't want, the reason you don't know what a Nazi is because you are a terminally online debate bro. That's why you don't know what a Nazi is. A normal person, if you go up to them on the street and you say that guy's a Nazi, they don't say, oh, this word is so overused. Oh my God, everybody says everybody's a Nazi. They know what it means, especially a older person. Like
I would bet $100,000. I would bet $100,000. I would go up to 10 normies on the street, ask them what a Nazi is, and each of them would give me mostly incoherent definitions of it.
Almost
I would
for
bet.
sure.
I will put my life savings on that.
Hold
The
on.
fact that you sat there and said, "Was that?"
Yeah, that's obviously true. If you ask somebody what a Nazi is, they're going to say somebody that doesn't like Jewish people. That's going to be or they'll say World War II Germany. That's what they're going to say. They're going to have no idea.
World War II Germany is a fine answer.
Hold on. No, because
that is what
that
I'm
doesn't
saying.
describe
I'm saying
Nick
when
Fuentes.
I'm saying no, it does. I'm saying look at pictures.
Oh my goodness. Like,
oh, I know. I'm so soy, Steven. I'm so overreacting.
No, hold on. I'm telling you.
Let me finish.
Hold on. I just said like 4 words, okay? The fact that you would appeal to older people knowing what a Nazi is. When we went through a whole era of the Red Scare, where my mom and dad think that every fucking Democrat is a communist, means that obviously older people don't have good grasps of what these terms mean. Okay? And before we got into this era of politics, when I was younger,
Democrats are communists is not the same as not knowing what a communist is. If you ask them what a communist is, they're not going to say Hillary Clinton or AOC.
Yeah, they absolutely would.
They're going to say Stalin.
No, they're going to say no.
If you say to somebody on the street, give me your best example. Give me your best example of a Nazi. You think that they're going to say what? Bush?
If you ask somebody what is a communist, they're going to say somebody that is for big government spending. That's what they're going to say a communist is. If you ask any person on the street,
you are lost in the debate bro sauce, my friend.
Hold on. No, this is from my real world. This is before I ever got into online. This is when I was a kid.
If you walk up to somebody on the street and you say, give me who, when I say the word Nazi and you have to name one person, who is that person?
Hitler.
The answer is Adolf Hitler. And that is a great comparison because he believes the same thing that Nick believes. And in fact, Nick said on a Twitter space 1 month ago that your community is like a group of autists that have decided to embrace being gay instead of embracing Hitler.
Is that supposed to have like a big emotional impact on me, or?
No, it's supposed to have a big emotional impact on your audience that it doesn't have an emotional impact on you. It's supposed to show you, Jidion, and ABBA's audience, anybody who's watching, that you guys are not equipped to deal with this. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. He is a sophisticated political operator who's convinced you that he is just a sweet little innocent incel, blah, 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 and you think your $100,000 in your bank account and you being able to walk around and say, oh, if I ask some people on the street, like you know everything and you know the political climate of this country, and you say, oh, he's not like he's going to go to Hitler. You don't know anything about Hitler's rise to power. You don't know where Hitler was 2 years or 3 years or 4 years before he became dictator of the country. He was sitting in a jail cell, embarrassed and alone, with no party to speak of, after committing an act just like the January 6th insurrection. But you guys don't know that. You are so in over your fucking heads that when I tell you Stephen has let this man who wants to kill you and kill your family into your living rooms, your response is to say, oh, well then why did you call him a Nazi? I object to the... You don't fucking care. You don't care.
Yo, MrGirl, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, if everything you're saying is true and like he's gonna be like the next Hitler, like, you know, maybe just platforming's not the only option. Sounds like you want to go to like war, like.
No, I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to war. No, absolutely. Bro. I don't want to. I don't want to go to war. I want you to be informed.
But like you're saying that
new
he could
buddy
be the next Hitler. Bro, he's not my
a lot of people could be the next Hitler, but he is the only person I know of.
Bro, you're gonna have to go get a strap and go go have a 1v1 with Nick in Nuketown.
I think as a Jew, that is your responsibility to save your people.
Why is that, Abba?
I mean, considering the history,
Abba.
I'm just saying, considering the history. I'm just saying.
Abba, you can play the race card if you want, but there's a lot more of your people in this country than there are of mine. I'm here to save you.
Can we turn the temperature down? I'm in Portugal. Can we turn the temperature of this conversation way the fuck down? Okay.
You're in Portugal. So is it? No. I don't want to turn the temperature down, Abba. If you think that a Nazi growing in power in this country is a Jew problem and not a black problem, You are out of your fucking mind. This country is 0.5% Jewish and 14% black.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, you feel really pressed about it. I don't feel as extreme about it as you do.
That's
like,
because
yes,
you're naive.
Maybe you're way more educated on world history and all these other topics, and so you know. But the moment you told me that you think that people really know what a Nazi is, or they can give you a good definition, or they can tell you who an accurate communist is, and they would say Stalin, I realize that you are very disconnected from the general populace, because regular people would not say that. If you, Jidion can also speak to
and
this.
I think
hold
that
on.
you are
I'll just finish
disconnected
because you love filibustering. So I'm gonna finish. I think Jidion would probably back me up on this in saying that if he asked most of his crowd who they think someone is a communist, they would not say Stalin. Jidion, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I don't even think a lot of my friends even know what a communist is.
Do they know who Hitler is?
Nah, man. Who's that?
Stop. He's fucking with you on the last one, but I think he was serious on the first one.
No, I'm actually being serious. Like, I don't know who that is. Who is it?
Now I don't know if he's joking or not. Abba, is he joking?
I actually don't know anymore. Yo, listen, young people are different, man. Young people are different. You be surprised.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure if I go to most, I'm not even joking.
Is he like
I'm not even joking.
like Hitler?
He's fucking around. He's got to be fucking around.
Or is he like, a misogynist? Like, it sounds like he said hit her. I don't know what he said.
I respect Jidion just sticking with the troll. But no, Jidion, seriously, I'm asking you seriously.
Oh, he's doing the thing you said, like just leave it out there. Don't like apologize.
Yeah,
for it or whatever.
exactly.
Oh,
if you learn from this guy on how to tell jokes,
all right, I
got
got it, dude. I got it for the future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jidion.
Yes, I'm glad. See, there's been progress tonight. But Jidion, I'm seriously asking you. Okay, if you went to your audience and you thought you asked them like, who's a communist or who's a Nazi, who do you think they would point to?
Who I think they will point to?
You said if you had to name one person to represent the definition of the word Nazi, who do you think they would say?
Definitely no one in prior history. I feel like they would. In all honesty, I feel like low key my audience, they would say some of like the woke commentary YouTubers are Nazis today. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I just don't believe you, but that's fine.
No, but I mean,
it's
you
not
don't
really
have to
relevant.
believe
It's not really relevant to the point I'm making. The whole point I was trying to make.
To be clear, conservative commentators, when I was a kid, used to call them. They would say feminazis. Like that was where I remember learning that term growing up. Like Michael Savage and shit.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Or
I don't care.
Nazi.
Anyway, my point is that you have let this person into your circles. If you're Jidion, if you're concerned about seeing this, and you're like, oh, who is this guy? Why is he reaching out to me? As I said, the thing that set us off on this whole tangent is that is Steven's fault.
I feel like that's fair enough to say. Like, if you want to say like, Steven unleashed the what show is that where they unleash something? I don't know. But you're basically saying Steven unleashed the beast and everything. That's fair enough to say. But I feel like you're fearing. Like, I feel like your theory of him rising to power
is theory. Like you asked me the worst case scenario.
But like, I feel like your worst case scenario is what you think is going to happen. That's why, because I feel like you wouldn't be
I don't think that's
going
to happen. I told you what I think is going to happen. I think a realistic thing that is going to happen is that he's going to grow his fan base, as it's already pretty large. It's going to get larger and include some of your fans. Some of these fans are going to become radicalized. They're going to go try to break into an FBI building or break into the government, and some Secret Service agent is going to shoot them in the fucking face.
Bro, but
it's going to be your fault for being naive.
Okay, but you're saying that
that's
they're
the worst case
these
scenario.
Government places. You're scared about these government places and the Capitol and stuff, but people already are being radicalized or whatever the word is.
Yeah, I don't want to add to it. And I think as somebody who has an audience,
shot the people up in Buffalo.
Yes,
he was
exactly. More of that. Yeah, more black people getting shot in grocery stores. Except this time, some of that blood splashes onto your hands because you didn't do a good enough job of stopping it.
But my point for all of this is that like stuff like Buffalo and stuff like Trump and stuff like Christchurch, that's all already happening. And it seems like this idea of
people die every day.
No,
people are murdering each other every day.
Doing
more of it is bad.
Or who blood does it go on for all these other?
What I'm saying is that our inability to engage with all of this and to just sweep it under the rug and say, great replacement, what's that? That's racist. Trump, who's that? He's a fascist. Nazis, what are that? They're bad people, KKK, blah, blah, blah. Blue Lives Matter, those guys are fascists. Those guys are bullies. That engagement in society is not working. That strategy is not working, and people on the left have lost the ability to engage with the other side. And calling people Nazis and
that's
calling
not a
people
response.
fascists doesn't get us anywhere because those words don't mean anything anymore. I would rather have somebody...
The side of Nazis is a microscopically small side. There is nobody even really recognizably representing that side who has a platform except Nick Fuentes is now, thanks to you, the most powerful Nazi in the United States of America.
Fuentes was... Have you watched AFPAC? Fuentes already had like a conference with like 1,000 people and like actual Republican
1,000?
lawmakers.
How about 500,000? How about 1 million? How about 5 million? You are the one who just plugged
as long
him
as I
into
get
the
a percentage
YouTube
of his
algorithm.
donations on Cozy, okay? Because if he's getting that many motherfuckers off me,
yeah,
Jesus
let's use
Christ.
semi-irony. You know what my worst fear really is? My worst fear is...
I'm sorry. You implying that I'm going to get an audience of 500,000 and now you're attacking me for using semi-irony. My bad.
Destiny, do you not see what you fucking did? You unleashed a monster on us. He's the most powerful Nazi in the fucking world. He's gonna cozy all of us.
My worst fear is
him and
that
his shitty ass green screen.
Even though you have made a terrible showing in this argument, and that you have gaslit me and made all of these side tangents and jerked me around and created confusion and changed the subject 500 times, and even though I can see you doing it, that I didn't do a good enough job of calling it out because I love you and because you're my friend. And that all of those stochastic terroristic acts are going to happen, and I'm going to feel like it's my fault. That's my worst fear.
Okay, well,
doesn't that make you a bad person to prioritize your friendship over the fact that you could save hundreds of people?
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Because I would argue that if I've heard you didn't want to tell your friend the truth, because you didn't want to hurt their feelings instead of saving hundreds of people, I would argue you might be an even worse person.
So then let me make it as clear as I can.
I want you to go in on Steven. Don't hold back. Tell him everything because you have a duty to no. If you honestly believe the threat is as imminent as you say, you have a moral imperative. I think that's the word you used earlier. I'm learning. To tell him the truth and not back out. So go.
Steven.
Hi.
I think that you're gambling people's lives here.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. And I think that you have a moral imperative to not delete threads in your subreddit giving you pushback about this. I think you need to take in as much feedback as you possibly can. And I think you, if you're going to engage with Fuentes, I think you should be much more careful, as I've already said.
Okay.
Destiny, can I say something too?
What would you like to say?
I, as a proud LGBTQRST VWXY and Z non-binary member, would like to say I feel really at risk right now that Nick is gonna bust inside my house and cozy my asshole. So I hope you can sleep at night with that in your mind.
I just so let it be known that I don't support or approve of Jidion's messaging here. Okay. I just want
Do you see how the irony espoused by you around this topic, the tone set by you in this chat, is
I think you contributed more. I think you contributed to it more than I did.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, but you're sure not backing me up. Like, it's fine, but you have people with audiences of millions, black people in this conversation with audiences of millions. Yes. Black people in this audience, in this conversation with an audience of millions who are more afraid of being seen as soy.
But isn't that kind of the problem?
They're more afraid of being seen as soy than they are of watching more.
I'll respond.
Watching more mass shootings where minorities are targeted.
Okay, all right, I'll respond. So since you were talking about black people and you're referring to me as part of the ensemble, it's not that we're afraid of being soy. That's never even crossed my mind. Maybe subconsciously, maybe there's some operating that you can see that I can't. But I would say that
probably
at least, sure. Hey man, listen, you want armchair psychologist? You can see it, then congratulations. What I would say is that as somebody living in North America and you constantly have the news thrown at you all the time, you're constantly told about imminent threats every single day coming from left, right, center, Nazis, communists, all this stuff, that at some point the terms start to lose meaning and you start to disengage with the conversation, because if you don't try and internalize all these things that everyone's trying to convince you are real threats, becomes too difficult to parse through. And so as a natural reaction to this, when I hear the term Nazi, I shut my brain off just because I've heard it used so many times about things that never turned out to be. Hold up.
If you're gonna shut your brain off,
let me finish. Let me just finish.
You should do it in private.
Let me just finish.
You shouldn't shut your brain off and
okay,
talk to millions of people at the same time.
All right. So, because you're not letting me finish my thought, I'll just speak over you as well. So, as a result, when I'm online and I'm seeing this stuff and people are telling me this is a threat and this is a threat, I have to parse through certain things and be like, I don't really see that as a threat, or I don't see this as a threat. When it came to Nick, that came as a complete surprise. We weren't ready for that engagement. We weren't ready for that conversation. But it's not like we've come out after the fact and be like, Nick's a great person. We can't really have him on. We pushed back on him to some degree on the panel itself. But even after that, we haven't tried to engage with him or try to be crazy about it, because we don't have the aptitudes to talk about the stuff that he's talking about. So I reject the notion that we somehow come online and try to make him very palatable to masses. If anything,
you are making him palatable. The first thing you did was come into this conversation and compare Fuentes to Jidion interviewing KKK people, and then argue with me about it for 10 minutes. That is exactly the kind of anti-soy, trying to make yourself look cool, getting a dunk on MrGirl kind of stupid ass behavior that runs interference for Fuentes, because he's not anything like Jidion. You don't even think he's like Jidion. You're not even capable of being sincere about this conversation. You shouldn't even fucking be in here. You should not be talking about this topic if you cannot be sincere about it, which is a lot of my message to Steven. If you find it so distasteful to call somebody out from a moral point of view and say, hey, I think what you're doing is wrong, then you should not talk to Nazis. You are not equipped psychologically or morally or whatever the fuck it is that you're missing that makes you not want to do that. You just should stay away from them.
Okay, so the first thing, you said Nick Fuentes, and then I compared it to Jidion's talking to the Ku Klux Klan. Yes, I absolutely do think that the Ku Klux Klan is worse than Nick Fuentes. You may disagree. I don't personally care. If you were to ask me...
No, I don't disagree. Hold on. No. That's not what I said. I don't want to hear any more of your fucking lies. I don't want to hear your lies. That's not what I said.
You do this thing where you're convinced you were gaslit, and so you try to gaslight me into thinking I gaslit you.
Maybe you're not gaslighting me. Maybe you actually don't understand what I said.
Or maybe you don't remember what you said because you're not as good at communicating as you think that you are.
What I said is that you compared Steven platforming Fuentes to Jidion.
No, that's not what you said. That's not what you. That's what you're saying now. You're remixing what you said, and so you can go back and play the clip, but that's not what you said.
You compared the platforming of Fuentes when you first came in. We're talking about what you said. Do you remember what you said when you came into the call? You said, "Well, hey, Jidion, if you're gonna criticize Steven for platforming Fuentes, didn't you interview the KKK?" You made the comparison. I'm just repeating it. You said that. That was a stupid thing to say. The reason that was a stupid thing to say is because you don't actually believe those two things are the same. You were just fucking around because you're not capable of taking this topic seriously, because you want to, I don't know, you want to look smart or funny or cool or something. And maybe it's working. Maybe your audience loves it. And maybe
real quick.
Or maybe we just fundamentally disagree on whether or not we think the other one's worse. Why is it that every time you have a disagreement, you always lead immediately to you're being disingenuous or you're trying to appeal to somebody or trying to be good friends?
Because a lot of you streamers are spineless, disingenuous fucks. That's why.
Okay. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you were able to pigeonhole me and put me in this group and say this is your
fucking, without being disingenuous, please explain to me why it makes sense for you to come into this conversation and say that Steven platforming a Nazi leader of his own political party is the same as Jidion, or just as bad as Jidion interviewing KKK people once or twice.
Okay. So this is easy. All right. This is not very difficult. It's actually what I believe. So this is not a disingenuous thing. You can just say, but maybe you're not intelligent enough. And that's okay. You don't have to immediately assume that I'm doing something fucking mischievous. Okay. My thought process, and this is simple, is that if Jidion's going to interview these Ku Klux Klan members and then to a young audience that he has, he's painting them in a favorable light or somehow a more reasonable light, it is very easy to imagine that with his huge audience of millions of people, they're not looking like, yo, his conversation with the Ku Klux Klan wasn't that bad. They don't seem like they're that bad of a people. And they have a revisionist history of one of the most terrifying groups in America. Now, I can easily make that case for you to sit there and act like what I'm trying to say.
That's one part of it. No, that's one part of the case. Now you have to make the case where that is equally as bad. And I agree, that's possible. You have to make the case where that's equally as bad as handing a career in streaming and access to streamers with millions of followers to the leader of a group of Nazis who tried to take over the government 2 years ago.
It's easy. It's easy. I think the impact, that the negative impact that Jidion with his giant platform, reaching over 5 million people with that video that's been reshared and rebroadcast and so many people, is probably a larger in reach, and so therefore would become more harmful than anything
Jidion didn't put Fuentes on his channel?
Actually, I wasn't streaming, but like, just I considered myself still being part of it just because I was in like the title, you know what I mean, and my name holds a lot of weight.
Yeah. So
I just want to wrap the point. The whole point I'm making is you can certainly make the case that maybe what Destiny's doing is worse. What I'm trying to fight against. What I'm trying to push back is the characterization that you gave me as some fucking anti-soy, just here for the lulz. Like my argument was so out of like left field that it doesn't make any sense. If you can concede that
it doesn't make any sense. There's no way you can compare a one-off interview with giving somebody a career, hanging out with him, eating chicken and waffles with him, laughing while he asks people on the street if they're Jewish, inviting him into your home, and then connecting him with a bunch of other creators who, because they're fucking greedy, naive, and don't want to appear soy, are probably going to keep, I'm not saying you're going to do this, but but because they fucking think like you, and maybe are less responsible than you, are going to platform him more and more and more, give him access to more and more people, and every single person he has access to, he's going to put on his list of contacts, he's going to reach out to every single person and do as many streams with all of them as possible. That's not happening with what Jidion did.
But
that was not even a possibility.
I agree with you to an extent, but like I feel like everybody watching like chat, you can agree with me or disagree. But chat, do you, yes or no, do you agree with anything Nick stands for or believes in, yes or no? And I'm pretty sure
they answer. They don't even know what he believes in or stands for. If you ask him, he's going to say, "Well, do you believe in like being funny? Do you believe that like women are like working too much and that they should kind of get back in the kitchen and get back to more feminine roles?" I mean, do you guys believe like he's gonna? You don't know what he believes.
Okay, but everybody in the chat, even what they do know as of right now, they say no, they don't. But I guess just hearing them discourse and stuff, that's what they enjoy. So
here's the problem. The thing they think they disagree with is like maybe him being anti-gay or him being far right or him being a Trump
but if they disagree with that, then they don't agree with him at all. So it's just
I know, but even in that being the thing that they think he is already a victory for him, because the real thing that they should be disagreeing with is putting you in a fucking gas chamber and killing you and your family. But it doesn't even occur to them that that's what he wants to do or that's what he's thinking.
Because he's ever talking about that ever. For you to attack him on that point makes you look insane, and you've lost the ability to communicate to anybody that would otherwise hear him. Fuentes is not talking about putting about people in gas chambers.
Why do you think he said that your audience should embrace Hitler?
It's fucking jokes to some extent. Can you say
and
that?
To what extent that it's not to whatever extent it's not a joke. To whatever extent it's not a joke. Well, no. To whatever extent it's not a joke. You asked me why would I say that? Do I seem insane? Yeah, because you're making me seem insane. But you could stop doing that anytime you want to grow a fucking spine. You're welcome to stop doing that. Why did he say? So you said to some extent he's not joking. So then what does it mean to embrace Hitler? What does embracing Hitler mean to you?
If you want to engage with him on that level, then you're free to do so. And all you're going to do is you're going to run headfirst over into the like it's a joke over and over and over again, and you're going to look like a moron.
By making this counter argument, you are admitting that saying what I'm saying is impractical, not that it's not true.
That's the whole point of what I go for is practicality. My goal is to not win like some purist ideological language war.
But the practicality, the bottom bedrock of your practicality is what is going to get you listened to and help you. And the problem with that is that you have a big gap where you're not willing to call a Nazi, and you're not willing to say, well, if you are...
But
if you're willing to
call him a Nazi, he has called him a Nazi.
Dude, yes, he has, and then in this conversation, he said he's not. So he's uncalled him a Nazi. He's called him a Nazi.
It's going to depend on the context. Like
you are changing the subject every time you talk. If you want me to respond to anything you've said, you need to stop doing that. If you want to have a back and forth, I will talk much less. Please just respond to my points. You asked me why am I saying that he wants to put people in a gas chamber?
I can't respond to any of your points because you rambled for like 5 minutes, and even though I've been trying to write down
what you're saying, you can't respond to my points because
saying,
you're too fucking scared to.
Even though
that's why you can't respond.
Bro, I've been doing this shit for like 7 years for politics, 12 years for
and so you would think that you'd be able to respond to this point.
I'm permabanned off of Twitter. I'm not scared.
So am I, motherfucker.
I'm not scared.
So am I.
I'm not scared. Okay.
Okay, then
So
whatever the fuck the
hold on.
reason is.
Stop saying I'm scared. The reason is because we have an ideological difference. Okay, it's the same reason why I'm even talking to you in the first place. Because before anything ever happened, everybody on the internet was calling you a pedophile. But I was one of the few people that don't engage, and I don't engage with that word that way. I don't care if somebody calls somebody a pedophile. What I want to know is what do people believe. That's the only reason why I've talked to you. So you can say on one end, I'm taking people like Fuentes and I'm giving them a career. He's already got a career. He's already had AFPAC. He's already had Republican lawmakers. But on the other hand, there's other upsides to what I do, which is arguably giving you a career, which actually is a one-to-one thing, which is living. And the only reason that was the case was because the only reason that was the case was because I have my policies on language. I'm not going to look at somebody that's just called a Nazi or a pedophile or whatever and go, oh, well, that's it. I'm just going to throw the word around and engage with it. I'm going to talk to the person. I'm going to engage in a deeper level with their ideas.
I'm willing to end my career to also end Fuentes's, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm not willing.
Why
would I end my career?
I mean, I think that's a bit dishonest. You weren't even gonna fight Destiny on the fact that he was saying some extreme stuff because y'all are friends. Now you're saying you're gonna end your career? Come on.
What do you mean I wasn't going to? I said I'm worried I'm not doing a good enough job of it because we're friends. I've been fighting him on it. Yeah.
Why did Destiny call you a pedophile?
No, I didn't. But that's what people would say about him.
Wait, what happened?
You can go into that if you want.
No, we're not gonna sidetrack it, Jidion. You can do your own.
Well, hold on, wait, but real quick, because that sounds ambiguous as fuck. It's nothing to do with like children or anything. It's just there was a very edgy movie. Have you ever heard of the movie called Cuties? There's like a very edgy movie. He did kind of a review of it that like dealt with like the actual substance of the movie, and a lot of people when they see that they get instantly uncomfortable, like, oh, he's a pedophile. So for a long time, that's what like everybody kind of like had called him. He's like, oh, he's a pedophile, and that was it.
Did you give a good review of the movie?
I don't want to talk about it right now because I feel that this is again another smoke screen, another tangent.
Okay, no, okay, my bad for
Jidion, if you want to talk about Cuties,
because he just threw that out there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
yeah, I know that's what he does. That's why I know he did it so that you'd have that reaction, so that we wouldn't talk about.
I didn't have a negative reaction.
But to answer your question of why I am bringing up gas chambers is because Fuentes said he wants your fans to embrace Hitler. That's what Hitler's known for. I don't know if you know that, as for putting people in gas chambers, invading other countries, and killing innocent people. Then you said, well, he's somewhat joking. To the extent that he's not somewhat joking, that's your answer. That's why I'm bringing up the Holocaust. That's why I'm bringing up genocide. Because he said he's going to joke to cover up his intentions, and then his joke is, I want your audience to embrace Hitler. It's simple as, man.
One thing I will say is if you go back and rewatch any part of this conversation, okay, I saw that you were already being critical of me in our DMs, which is fine. But even seeing that, I was like, hey, if you want to come on and chat, we can talk, because it'd be good to have this conversation in the open because it relates to moderation policies on my subreddit. I have no problem doing that. I even let you read the full Reddit post, and then I give an explanation for why I usually delete posts like that. I did all of it in the open. For me to go that far and be willing to engage in this conversation where I know we have huge disagreements on, and it's possible my community might even side with you on the thing, that to do all of that and then for you to just say that I'm bad faith gaslighting the entire time is a little bit, I don't want to say rich, but like I feel like I'm doing my best to engage in this conversation in good faith.
I don't think you are. No, I don't think you are. I think you're doing your best to make me look insane, and I think you're good at it. But I don't think you're doing your best to good faith engage in this conversation. You've asked questions that you absolutely know the answer to. You've made claims that are wildly impossible to substantiate. Like you don't know if you've helped give Fuentes a career or platform.
Of course I'm helping him. I've never said otherwise.
You said Fuentes. You said, did you see his AFPAC thing? I'd had no influence on anything. It's the same Brittany Simon shit that you got criticized for in the post in the first place. In fact, I think you've done in this conversation every single thing you got criticized for in the post. So clearly you need to read these posts, so you really shouldn't delete them because I don't think you've learned the fucking lesson from the post.
So I can give you two examples right there of you actually acting in bad faith. You just made two statements, truly, that neither you nor I know that either of us believe. We both know that I haven't said, and I don't believe that I haven't helped Nick at all. Obviously, I have a little bit. And then you're saying, I'm saying that I have no influence. And then you bring up the AFPAC example.
You said it's possible. You said possibly or probably. Meaning you wouldn't answer the question, and I'm saying you knew the answer to the question is that yes, you've helped him, but instead you interrupted me to say that you don't know that you've helped him when you know that you do, that's just a lie. It's just a lie, man.
This is bad faith. I'll leave it up to the audience to interpret. If you guys think that I think
you'll
that
leave
I
it up to your audience to interpret. But if they
any
interpret it
positive-
negatively and they write an essay about it, you'll delete it. But other than that, it's
they
up to
can
the
write
audience
any
to
essays they
interpret.
want as long as they're not calling
Yes,
me
they
names
can write
or
an
being
essay
weird
they want,
in it.
and calling you weaselly in an argument is not calling you a
Calling me
name.
weaselly, saying "God damn, this is painful." He's making a Britney tier argument. Of course,
That
this
is
like,
not. Yes, that is an insult paired with a criticism for sure. But if you're going to say that you're going to delete any criticism that reaches that level of insulting, again, I don't think you are equipped to deal with Fuentes. Then you don't think you should be doing this, because if you are going to do this, you need as much feedback as possible. And I'm trying to provide that
I need
to you.
valuable feedback. Not all feedback is equal, and that feedback is trash. If people want to provide me good feedback, and I get a ton of it, I get it on my subreddit, I get it on my chat, I get it on my emails.
Community. I think it would be cool if there was a system of voting where your community could like decide whether feedback is valuable.
Oh my God! Appealing to lay Reddit upvotes. Every community on Reddit knows that that's always been the key to success, is just letting the upvoted posts rise to the top and the down. Thank you. You know, I've only got the largest community subreddit of I think any streamer or possibly even any YouTuber on all of fucking Reddit. Thank you for the advice on how to run my community. How could I have possibly thought of these ideas? Like,
Stephen, from the start of this, my advice is not about how to grow your community and how to make money. I know that you know how to do that, and I know that that's what's going to happen if you keep talking to Fuentes. My advice is about how to stop innocent people from getting killed.
Thank you, MrGirl, for saving us. I think I think Steven has a lot to sleep on, and if he doesn't think about all this stuff, a lot of innocent people are gonna die.
Yeah, Jidion, why don't you take this threat seriously?
I am taking this threat very seriously. I am locked and loaded, and all I need is for someone to just let me know where Cozy TV HQ is, and I'm gonna.
He's stupid. He's stupid.
I don't.
I will say this. I will say this. I do think it's unfortunate, because I do think, you know, there were decent arguments on both sides. I do think it's unfortunate that you guys got so caught up on whether the other person was being honest, or the other person, you know, was telling the truth, or reading into intentions. Hold on.
You have to get caught up in it.
MrGirl, I think you'd be far more effective getting your point across if you didn't cut people off every 5 seconds, because it just makes you instantly dislikable. Me personally, I can't stand you. I think you're one of the worst content people that you bring on this fucking stream. Every time people try to talk, even if I disagree with the other person, I start to hate you way more, because you don't know when to shut the fuck up. No one's ever told you. Sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up. And this is just a piece. You don't even have to care, because you just said, I don't care about growing and getting bigger. Well, you know what? I think that's irresponsible on your part, because if you actually cared more about growing, you could exert way more influence. But you're so caught up in your stupid ego that you need to cut everybody off and pretend like, oh, I'm so born out of my fucking virtues that I would not sacrifice them to grow. You should grow your brand so you can help and influence more people. But you're so busy interrupting people and being dislikable in reasons that aren't productive to the conversation that you neuter your own reach for no reason. And so
I think you don't have to think about why you're lecturing me about my rhetoric when you're not lecturing Stephen about platforming a Nazi.
Me and Steven have spoken about this offline, and I've spoken with Jidion about the...
If you've spoken to him about it offline, maybe you should speak about it online instead of online, making a bunch of stupid, spineless jokes, using the same kind of meta fucking fake half irony, half joking shit that Steven has made popular. And I guess made popular with you, and so now he's paved the door that even black creators are going to say, well, I would rather platform a Nazi than be soy.
Cool, all right.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Hold up, shh. If you would have let me finish, you would have actually known that there's a video on Destiny's channel where me and him speak about our thoughts after the panel, and how I said I would never want to speak to him again because I do think his views are abhorrent, and I'm not with it. So we've done it both online and offline. So instead of cutting people off where they're getting to the point that you may be already getting to, you can learn to listen. You are one of the worst listeners I've ever seen in my life. And why I'm lecturing you. I'm just a viewer who happened to jump on all of a sudden because I thought this whole discussion was going off the rails for reasons that weren't necessary. I think
yes, and so you came in and derailed it with a stupid fucking argument, and now you're lecturing me about rhetoric when you came in and provided cover for a fucking Nazi and for Steven. You're unbelievable, man. You invited yourself into the conversation, and now you're saying, oh, I mean, me and Jidion, who weren't even part of the fucking conversation to begin with, should get just as much talking time as you when the conversation is me confronting Steven. You're all fucking buddies, and you're going to come in here and defend your buddy. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yes. You know, we're all soy boys, terrified of being soy, who are here to defend Destiny at every point because we're cool friends and all streamers.
Saying something in a funny voice doesn't make it not true.
And just because you said it doesn't make it true either.
I'm not saying it does. I'm saying what makes it true is that it's actually fucking true.
Okay. Yes. How I know?
All right. Give me perms in your Discord or whatever the fuck you use for your podcast. I'll be sure to jump in and start saying stupid shit to undermine whatever you're saying. And then if you interrupt me, I'll tell you, whoa, you know why people don't like you, Abba, blah blah blah.
All right. Listen,
please.
I get your feelings hurt. I get your feelings.
My feelings aren't hurt. I'm just telling you that what you're saying is fucking dumb. That's all.
Okay. All right.
But you want to give him perms?
I don't have a Discord, so I mean, he can jump in whatever he wants.
You want to give him the key to your guys' studio, so whenever you guys are recording, you can just hop in.
Bro, every time I hear this guy, man, I dislike him more and more. And I just wanted to be the kind of person who didn't just say it in the chat, but said it to his face. Because I think, he gets on these podcasts and he talks over people and he pretty much big bros them with his voice. But the truth is, you're not nearly as insightful as you'd like to think you are. And you are a terrible listener, which makes for a very poor conversation. So I just wanted to be able to join, because I know you complained about me being in the chat all the time. And I just wanted to be able to say to you, all right? So now that you know you can carry on just rattling off and cutting people off and having poor conversations, we'll probably never speak again. So I'm not losing anything. Enjoy.
So yeah, when we pulling up to Cozy.
Shut the fuck up, okay? I don't know where the Cozy headquarters is.
Fucking Sneeko. But MrGirl, the point I was trying to get across earlier is, I feel like the energy that you're exerting to Destiny, if anybody should be exerted to, it should be to Sneeko. Because I feel like the dangers that you see in Destiny is so minuscule compared to from your perspective.
He'd probably say the same thing to Sneeko, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying this energy that he has
Sneeko's not gonna listen. Sneeko's not gonna listen to me.
But it's a conversation to be had. So I mean, if you want,
sure. If you want me to talk to Sneeko and try and be all serious, and Sneeko can make funny faces at me and call me a retard and act like I'm an idiot and he's sure, fine. I'm happy to do that.
I'll get you guys together. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram.
Or Twitter. I don't know what you
Twitter,
use.
MrGirl Returns. MrGirl.
Where'd you go?
I got banned, so I made my second channel, MrGirl Returns. Then I got unbanned, so now I have 2 channels.
Oh, so what do you stream on Twitch or where are you at?
I stream on YouTube. I'm banned from Twitch. My streaming channel is MrGirl Returns, and my main channel is MrGirl.
Okay, how long have you been doing this for?
5 years.
How old are you?
I haven't been streaming for 5 years. I've been making videos for 5 years.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
37.
Oh wow, so you're way older than me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm also a rapper. While we're talking about it.
What the fuck? You're lying.
Yeah, his album's lit. Okay, it's some wild shit.
That's why you were talking about us black people, because you're one of us.
That's right.
All right, man. Hey, MrGirl, man. More like Mr. Nigga.
That's right. I'm gonna change my screen name.
I mean, if you don't mind, can we hear he spit a bar?
Oh
man, you're putting him on the spot, dude.
I mean, there's 7.4K in here, so fuck. That's
well, he's got songs, okay? He's released on YouTube, okay? You could ask for his Spotify or SoundCloud.
He's a rapper. I mean, I can even spit some bars. MrGirl, MrGirl, MrGirl.
I'm trying to think of the right bar.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Let me change my my gain. I'll spit everybody's favorite bar.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Okay.
This nigga Love Heat is still on my fucking dick. I remember this name from last time. God damn, Love Heat. Bro, it's a new day, bro. Hop on another dick. Fuck.
Okay, everybody's favorite line that I've ever spit. You're playing Minecraft in a cave looking for miners. That's funny. I'm in the same cave looking... Oh, shit. Diamond. Fuck, I fucked it up. Wait, let me start over. Jidion. Shit, hang on. Wait. You're playing Minecraft in a cave looking for diamonds. That's funny. I'm in the same cave looking for miners. Because my sexual attraction to miners is major. Can't even play hopscotch without popping a rager. Always been a pervert, so I accept the insults. When I was a kid, I fucking molested adults.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold up. Nah, what the? Okay. MrGirl.
That's my first live rap performance ever.
But what is the name of that song? What is the name of that song?
I can fantasize about whatever I want.
What the fuck are you fantasizing about?
Whatever he wants.
I just told you.
Okay. I feel like this is coming back to cuties. So
It is.
is this like? Please tell me this is like a joke, right? It's like memeing.
Gotta listen to this song.
God damn.
Yeah.
He's got a song called "I Kill Pedophiles" too, so it's okay. All right.
Oh,
that's true. I do have a song. Yeah.
So we fantasize about minors and we also kill pedophiles. So you know, it evens out.
Yeah.
Lit.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my side of the internet, Jidion. I hope you're enjoying.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't think this is, you know, I don't think I want to introduce my audience to this side, but I love hopping into it. You know, I mean, I don't think your community fucks with me that much, but
no, my community fucks you. They're W's
they
in the
do?
chat. Yeah. Jidion.
Am I with Dion or La Dion?
You're with Jidion. And they're using that W and L shit now for all the drama that happens with me. Melina was fighting with people earlier, and they're like, yeah, W Lena or L Lena or whatever people are.
Isn't that so much better than fucking Hog?
Man, we didn't do Pog shit, so.
Oh, with W, man, it's simple. If it's a W, drop a W. If it's an L, drop an L.
True. That's why you guys
like
the
with the
WL
girl, I'm not gonna
community.
lie. That rap, I have to drop an L for that, man. Like, no offense, but
Not for the rapping though, just for the subject matter, right?
For both.
Wow. Well, let's hear you drop some bars then. If you're gonna be critical of somebody else, now you kind of have to. You're on the spot. In fact, I insist.
All right, I got something. I sexually fantasize about my best friend, so I popped a Viagra in his family. Now he has a raging boner, and he doesn't know why. I flick it all the time like a door stopper. Bring, bring, ding, ding, dong, dong. I was just off the dong.
Dang, you didn't even write that?
I didn't write that.
Man, I'm glad we could bond over music.
True. That's what brings us all together in the end.
Hip hop. All right, well, Steven, you got anything else?
No, that's all I got. I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you or anything. I don't know if sometimes you think I walk away from these arguments really upset.
Well, yeah, when I see you, I worry you're going to delete me when you delete those threads. I feel like I feel scared to confront you.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to delete you. Don't worry.
I'm not going to delete you either, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah, I am mad at you, but I still love you.
Okay. I love you too. Be careful, babe.
All right, you too.
Bye,
Jidion.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Man.
Oh, man, that's...
You came in at a heated moment.
I know. I honestly wasn't gonna say anything. I didn't even know you knew I was in here. I just joined. I was just because I wanted to like listen, you know, not just watch the stream.
Gotcha.
That was something. It would have been crazy to get a cameo from Nick. That would have.
Why do you wanna drag him in here? Because he wants to chat.
I do not want to talk to Nick.
Okay.
Abba, stop muting yourself. Unmute yourself. MrGirl's gone. You see, isn't it crazy how Alba muted himself when Alpha was in the building, but then once the Alpha leaves, he wants to unmute himself?
Is that what's going on?
It's crazy, right? I mean, I said my piece. I wasn't going to say no more. I'd have looked like a fool if I was like, that's all I got to say. I'm like, actually, I said my piece. I'm good. I don't want to derail the whole conversation. I'll let you have your moment with rap.
Shit. Your whole community is saying bring Nick.
No. Well, I don't want to force either of you into that conversation if it's awkward.
But I think it'd be good content for you. So me and him can head out and we can let you do your thing.
Yeah, that's all I'm here for is the content at the end of the day. Listen, there could be an army of Nazis, but as long as they're like tier 4 sub to me, it's all good, all right?
You know, I got big companies to work with, so I gotta, you know, I like.
You got a bright future ahead of you. Don't let me sully your name, okay?
Yeah, you know, I gotta sell out to the Matrix just a little bit, you know. So everybody in the chat, drop W stream right now. W stream.
You don't have to worry about Destiny ever biting you in the ass later with like articles, because Destiny's a girl's name and girls are never problematic.
Shut the fuck up.
Yo, Alba, text me your number. on a.
You want my phone number?
Yeah.
You got WhatsApp?
Bro,
Oh my
fucking,
God.
I'm not foreign. The fuck.
Uncultured. All right, we'll get off. Destiny, have fun.
Have
Bye,
fun.
Destiny.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I didn't leave. I thought I left.
Damn. Oh, Jesus. Where is... Are you awake, Eric? Hold on. Destiny. Meanwhile, in the E-Holy Wars, Yang Dong explains that Muhammad is wrong about sperm production and testicles. Bro, I don't even know, man. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then we'll chat with Nick for a minute, I guess. Nick is on a DGen sleep schedule, so he'll be awake no matter what.
Whoa.
Okay, have you... I guess we're in different positions, since obviously I'm a mega famous E-celeb. I can't tell if MrGirl is like especially difficult, but I think that my community does vibe with what he says a lot. How do you... So, I have a very sophisticated view of language now, but the sophistication from the outside just looks like... It looks like equivocation, it looks like slipperiness, it looks like inconsistency. Like, how do you do that? Like, people have that appearance of the language, but the reality is that in some ways it kind of is, and in some ways it isn't. Yeah, what do you... Yeah, how do you cut through that, or how do you make people understand that?
I have like no good solution for this. Like, what happened to me is there was a user in your Discord who she was like really very strange, but like super fixated on Wittgenstein. And I just talked to her about this for like years, and eventually I was just like I just became like really compelled and convinced by her account of the meaning as use stuff. But whenever I have an argument about this, and whenever I talk about meaning as use in the context of language, or like in a semantic argument, people in your Discord just like I just get treated as like as nutty or just crazy or whatever. Like I don't actually know if there's a way to do it without like having this semantic conversation first, like the semantic as in like, you know, what actually is meaning, how do you derive the meaning of a word. And it's a really tough argument for people to swallow just because of what it implies for so many.
It feels like it's like trans people for like conservatives. Like, to even consider transness would require like an entire reworking of your understanding of like gender biology. And it feels the same when it comes to like the sophistication of language. Like, wait, hold on. This word means this thing, of course. This is the definition and blah, blah. And it's like, it's so much more fluid and family oriented and like use oriented. Like, there's so much more going on.
Yeah. I mean, cause once I understood, or once I adopted the position that like the meaning of a word is exclusively and entirely circumscribed by its use, so much stuff in politics started to make like a lot more sense to me. But it also became like a lot harder to communicate with people. And I mean, like, it sounds like you got an email that was like really helpful. And for me, it was legitimately just like arguing about this like over and over again. Like the first conversation I had, because like the Wittgenstein thing is not just about, it's not necessarily just about language. It can also be about like whole categories of practices, or like things that you do or activities that you do or like emotions or actions.
Or it's not even, and to be clear too, it's not just Wittgenstein. There's like a whole bunch of shit. Is it called semiotics and other like theory of language stuff that I've read about that like goes on to kind of say that like people don't understand how sophisticated language is. Like when I lean into a room and I'm like, hey, are you hungry? There's so much that I'm implying there that to take that as the sentence itself would be ridiculous. People would actually think you're a sociopath. Like, are you hungry? And somebody's like, oh yeah, I am. And then you just leave. And you don't come back like, oh, I thought we were going to eat. What do you mean you thought we were going to eat? I was just asking you a question, inquiring about the state of your hunger. Like, wait, what? No, of course not. You're asking, right? Like even for a sentence as simple as that. And then obviously when you climb into more abstract language or political conversations, everything is so much more complicated. And it's hard to convey that. Yeah,
because every single language game has like an entire history that underpins it. And like if you aren't willing to sort of critically assess that history, then it's going to be like really hard to sort of break out of the framework of that language game. So for instance, anything about like any political label, whether it's something like Nazi or fascist, or you know, something less controversial like liberal or conservative, there's going to be an entire tradition of use that's going to have like a huge long history that explains like And it's not just that the problem with the Nazi conversation that you were having is that it's not just that like he's speaking in a language game that you don't necessarily agree with. It's that like every single word can have a particular role in like multiple language games. So Nazi might mean something different in one language game, and it might mean something else in a different language game. Like so, for instance, you could have a historical use of Nazi where a historian is exclusively referring to people who were members of the NSDAP in the 1930s to 40s, and you could have somebody who's using it to like refer to people on on Twitter or whatever who they don't really like. And that's not to say one of these is wrong. Like I don't want to say that like, oh, the Twitter use is like incorrect, because that's not really the point of it. It's just that it's a different kind of use. And when you start confusing the two uses, like when you start using like the problem is when you use a word that belongs to one particular language game in the context of another language game, you start to carry over like implications.
Yeah, which is
that have political.
And that's my issue is it feels like, and I don't know if it's intentional. I don't think it's actually intentional. The problem is it feels like these language games are being played, but you're not really aware of it. It's kind of like philosophy. Like everybody's practicing it, whether they know anything about it or not. So yeah, you start to play these language games where you're bringing, and this is always my problem, is people bring over words from other families and they use them because they fit really well in those other definitions or in those other kind of games that they're in, but they don't really apply in the other one that you're bringing it, unless it's for the purpose of like just subsuming like some, like a moral, conviction. Like that guy over there, that Blue Lives Matter guy, he's a fascist. It's like, well, what do you mean by that? And it's like you're this this language game that exists in these like very progressive or woke circles is like you're drawing on so much different stuff, and it's why like I guess in these conversations I just don't like the labels at all. Like it feels so muddy and messy, and I don't know what anybody means. In terms of following the conversation, I'm not asking who you think is right or wrong. I guess, do you think that should I? So my understanding is that like I think I even said this. I think I discovered this years ago. I kind of completely abandoned political labels in terms of like attacking or assessing somebody's position. Do you think that that's wrong of me, or do you think I should be trying to do that, or I should be trying to get my community like, guys, we should call people like fascist, Nazi, communist, socialist. We just need to understand that this is the word.
I mean, like, so my only basis for comparison of that is like the arguments that I have in your Discord, and I'm like a horrible, always inside, never goes outside kind of person. So I have like hundreds of thousands of messages in there, and that's a strategy that I adopted too, like years ago, and it's served me much better. I've been able to sort of cut through to the actual substantive element of something much more effectively. I mean, like, if
to be clear, just real quick, I believe that I'm able to do that, and the problems that I get on people is it feels like their problem with me isn't that, but their problem is that I'm not playing the language game. The problem that they're having is that like, because even some of the things that he's saying are just wrong. He's saying that I'm creating confusion around like definitions of words and what's going on in the conversation. That's not true. I think I'm able to like speak with incredible clarity, more so than almost anyone else, or more so than anyone that I've ever talked to any of these people, and actually figuring out what they believe. Like if you were to get me and 4 other like left-leaning people to try to assess Nick's positions, I think I would know them better than anybody. And I think that's because I'm not playing that particular language game of like, we use the word Nazi or fascist to describe this person. So I think in some ways, them like obsessing over me using this word to accurately describe somebody is actually causing obfuscation on their part, which is the frustrating part for me, is that they don't even want the clarity. They just want me to use the word with like the moral weight that they have behind it. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Has Rem ever, like, Rem has had like philosophy of science conversations with you? Has he ever talked to you about like Thomas Kuhn, like the paradigm shift thing in science? Or like, are you familiar with that at all? Like, I'm not speaking from like a position of great familiarity. This is just kind of a metaphor I want to draw. But
does this have to do with like the incommensurability of like different scientific paradigms, or what? Or I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, how if somebody was working, this is not really how it works, but you'll get what I mean. Like if somebody was working in like a paradigm of like alchemy or whatever, and somebody later on was working in a paradigm of like modern chemistry or whatever, the guy who's doing modern chemistry is going to be able to understand like the paradigm of alchemy, but the guy who's doing alchemy is not really going to be able to understand what the chemistry guy is up to.
Sure.
And that's basically how I have come to view like the language thing, is where it's like if you're, and I was kind of saying that in chat too, like if you have like if you're Wittgenstein pilled in any capacity, it's going to be really, really hard for you to have conversations with people who aren't, because I started at the point of like not really being on board with this stuff, and then I was, and now that like I see people who aren't on board with it, it's like, fuck, like you, like this is just going to be impossible because you don't have, like, you haven't experienced the linguistic paradigm shift.
I feel like I can engage in those conversations. So like when you look, and this just makes my position look less coherent. Like when I'm on Twitter or whatever. So like if you were to get me in a sincere debate on Nick Fuentes' beliefs, I would probably almost never describe at least his stated positions as that of belonging to a Nazi. There's a lot of incongruency for a lot of different reasons, and it's just not very accurate. Sure. There's so many better ways. Like, I think like Christian ultranationalist or something is way more concise, or Catholic ultranationalist is going to be way more concise than Nazi, which could mean who the fuck knows. But like when I go into Twitter and I'm like fucking around with the serfs, like, yeah, I'm going to joke around and I'll say like, oh my God, like you had to use an incorrect Jewish joke to insult a dude who's a fucking Nazi. What the fuck is wrong with you? But when people see that in my community, or like when MrGirl says that, they're like, well, hold on, sometimes you're willing to call Nick a Nazi, but other times you're not. But it feels like on Twitter, well, here I'm using Nazi to remark on the irony of this guy having a guy that he wants to attack for anti-Semitic positions when he's genuinely anti-Semitic, but he's using the joke that isn't even anti-Semitic because he's the context of stream. But then when I hop on stream, I'm having a more formal conversation about the word Nazi. Well, here, like the way that we're defining the term is way different. But from the outside, it just looks like I'm either equivocating or it looks like I'm like spineless. Like, oh, well, you'll call him a Nazi on Twitter, but you won't say it in this conversation. Like, well, it's a totally different context for the word. So I don't know if like, yeah, it's hard to engage in the... I don't know how to make those positions clear, like on the outside, because it just sounds weaselly. It looks weaselly and spineless. Like,
it does, yeah. I think, I mean, like again, like I honestly, I don't even think there's a good solution to this. Like my advantage when I've leveraged this kind of argument, when I'm arguing, is that like I argue primarily in text, and when I do that, I can like really, really rigidly lay out what I'm saying, and I can take what the other person said, and I can like pull that apart or whatever, and I can be like really, really particular about what's going on. And that's not really as easy to do in like a voice chat, especially when you're referencing like a bunch of little clips, video clips and like tweets and a bunch of stuff like that across disparate platforms or whatever. That can be like a really, really big challenge. I almost feel, man, I missed stream for the last 2 days, but I saw that there was something where you guys were having like a language conversation with Lav or something. And I don't know if you guys talked about this, but I almost feel like it would be good to have a conversation with MrGirl, not like, okay, so not under the auspices of like, oh, I'm trying to convince you about the Nazi thing, so I'm going to have a conversation with you about language, but just because if you can get somebody like MrGirl, who it seems like, you really value him, you like having conversations with him, if you can get him on the same page with this language thing, or if you can take that email that you got and like sort of boil that down into some arguments and see how he responds to that, or even forward him the email or something like that. If he can understand that, then I think like all conversations moving forward will just be like significantly better.
Can you recommend me, because I have to stop going off emails and everything. Can you recommend me if I could read one book by Wittgenstein to understand this?
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. Here's the problem, and this is where I expose myself as a complete piece of shit, disgusting suit. I have so many books by I have all of I have like Wittgenstein's 2 books, the Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus and Philosophical Investigations, and I have a bunch of companions which I have not read. I have them; they're on my list. All of my knowledge of Wittgenstein comes from either secondary things or from speaking to this person in your Discord who I hold in like really, really, really high regard, and who has spent a lot of time on Wittgenstein. So a lot of my knowledge is secondary. But if you want like the meaning as used take, then the book to read is Philosophical Investigations.
That's what people seem to be recommending. Okay, is this going to be painful?
It's a long ass book, and it will be very painful. It will be extremely painful. And I know, like, here's the thing. I was going to read, like, TLP, his first book, which has a theory of language that he later goes on to discard. It's like, so I was given a GitHub link to, like a branching tree structure for how to read this, because you can read it sequentially, but you can also read it, like, sort of hopping around the book, sort of schizophrenically.
Okay.
And so yeah, like, his stuff is not easy to read. He is not, like, easy to read. I almost think, like, man, it's really hard. Like
I'll get it. Fuck it. Wait, hold on. People are saying it's 130 pages. That doesn't sound that bad.
Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus might be. I'm pretty sure Philosophical Investigations is. I mean, I don't know. Look it up. Maybe I could be wrong. My copy seems pretty thick, but I don't know. Maybe it's got like footnotes or some shit like that. If it's shorter, if it's only 130 pages, then fuck it. Yeah, I think it's worth reading.
Oh, 120. Like, okay, this is fine. Okay, cool. Got it.
Oh, is it? Okay, perfect. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. My version might have some extra bullshit in it. I think the way that I'd really go about this stuff is just like having a lot of conversations with somebody who is like a really hardline Wittgensteinian is what helped me to understand the perspective. Like if I take like meaning is just how a word is used. If I just take that principle and I apply that like absolutely to every single conversation, things start to become like really, really interesting. I think things start to become really, really interesting when it comes to like trans stuff, for instance. I'm not gonna like get into all of this, but just like the idea of like, oh, how do we define a woman? And this is a thing that I didn't see. I don't remember that philosophy guy you had on stream who also spoke to
to
Vosh. The argument, what is a woman? Well, like all words, its meaning is exclusively circumscribed by how the word is used.
Yeah.
That's not an argument that he brought up in his paper. That's not an argument I've seen addressed anywhere. And I was talking to this person in your Discord about that, and I think the take that she had is basically like philosophical tendencies don't necessarily rise and fall in like a logical fashion. It might be more like fashion trends. And he kind of fell out of style as a lot of sort of like a lot of philosophy focused on gender was coming into vogue. So he was never really like contemporary with some of that philosophy. So that might be a reason why it hasn't seen as much application. But like to me, the argument of meaning as use applied to gender or applied to like, oh, what is a woman is like the most, like once you know that rule is like the most obvious or like perfect thing in the world. Like it puts everything into perfect absolute alignment.
Yeah, and when you start to be more fluid with your understanding in so many different contexts and scenarios, you can understand it too. But if you don't have that view and you're not aware of the language games, and somebody's like, well, what is a woman? It suddenly becomes like the most complicated question in the world. Like it's incredibly complicated. And the analogy that I would try to use to make people understand is like people are like, oh, well, what is a woman? Well, you should be able to answer that instantly. It's like, okay, well, what is a table? A table is much more simple than a woman. But defining what a table is really difficult. Does it have 4 legs? Does it have 3 legs? Well, what about the arrangement? What if it's missing one? What if it's a chair? Does the height of the table matter? That's actually just something as simple as a table or a chair can be an incredibly complicated thing to define. But it's all in the use, right? But yeah,
and like the thing about that is like there is a huge, of course, like especially in debate, especially in politics, there's a huge presumption that like a definition must be this sort of rigid thing
from a universal frame of reference.
But like why on earth would that be the case? The case really like the actual fullness, the actual full plenitude of the meaning of a word is contained in its use. You're never going to get more than that. You're never going to be able to get something more complete than just examining how it's used.
That last philosopher dude I was talking to brought up that really interesting point that like Wittgenstein had a challenge to that. There was like I don't remember the names of any people, but somebody's like, oh, like, do I exist? And like his thing was like, oh, well, do I have 2 hands or do my 2 hands exist or whatever? And I guess it was either Wittgenstein or another language guy pointed out that like the question itself is absurd because to even begin to engage with the question means that you must utter some words that make all the necessary presumptions for that statement to be true. So it's a meaningless thing to ponder. Like if I exist, do I have 2 hands or whatever? It's like, well, if I is a subject, you already are declaring that I is a thing in the world and you're talking about your hands, like you've already made all the necessary assumptions for the statement to be necessarily true, and to try to engage with it in any other manner is entirely futile because it's like it's pretending that there's some other universal way that you could define these words that only have definition or meaning through the use thereof, which it was an interesting way
I adore that stuff. Another thing that I think applies to a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, which is something that you've spent I don't know, I think like a lot of time on, is all of the Baudrillard like simulacra stuff, because a lot of the times, like when you're having these conversations, the political words that people are throwing around could also be understood as like signs that are completely evacuated of their practical content and don't really refer to anything except themselves. And I guess to dive a little bit deeper on that, I recently read Simulacra and Simulation as part of a book club that was in a Discord server that was a split off of your Discord server. And if you're more interested in that, you could try reading literally just the first chapter, because like the entire book is like a lot of little sort of vignettes where he analyzes contemporary cultural goings on. So it's not necessarily the most useful thing. But like just the very first chapter, the procession of simulacra, and you can just find a PDF somewhere, is pretty short and might give you like some vocabulary to ground that out better. But like I think both Wittgenstein's language games and the concept of like the sign divorced from the thing that's sort of meant to be symbolizing are both really useful to talk about these things. And I don't know how willing somebody like MrGirl would be to have like a conversation that is more like out in the weeds of like semantics. A funny thing, like I used to think semantic, oh, this is just a semantics debate, as like oh, you can just dismiss this, but like
but the semantics actually is
so
like
important. It's actually
it is the most important thing. Like the word itself almost doesn't even matter anymore, which I think is proven when you look at things like slang and whatnot. Like the words can actually become totally fucking irrelevant, but you already know kind of what's being
because it's not even it's almost not even like a spoken word thing. It's almost like a ritual action that's just part of like a sort of big like series of practices, like a big ritual, like a language game. You're literally playing a game that has all of these rules that are implicit or that you kind of get initiated into just by sort of playing. Like you're never told what words mean growing up. You kind of just begin to understand the contexts as you are initiated into them, as you're initiated into each particular language game. And of course you can go to university and learn new language games, like words might mean something different if you're a physics major versus if you're studying literature. But yeah, I think it would be interesting to see if somebody like MrGirl would be amenable to a conversation like this, not just for the Nazi stuff, but just in general, because I think this is such a useful framework. And I would recommend everybody who's listening to this to like really go out and look into that and see if it's something you agree with, this idea of meaning is use or Wittgenstein's philosophical investigations.
I just have to.
really
I need
think
to
this is the
integrate
key
it.
to
Like
everything.
I need to integrate it better into my own, have a better understanding, so that I can explain it better. But
For sure.
because the problem is, I've already tried to explain it once on stream, and it honestly just sounds weaselly. It just makes me.
Yeah, my introduction to this was I was trying to get across the idea that of meaning in art.
Mhm.
And I was like really struggling to do this against this person who was coming at it from like a Wittgensteinian perspective. And it's like because the meaning in art has to be sort of it has to be interpreted through this lens of meaning as use. So in order for like art to actually have a shared or common meaning,
Mhm.
it has to be expressed through like one of these language games. I don't know. It was something. It's like quite a while. It was quite a while ago. But as soon as because like the meaning of really everything is just expressed in terms of how that object is like made use of, or like what it is actually like what people do with it. It's the same thing with like a tool, like a shovel or something.
Sure.
Like what is the actual function of this item is
Mhm.
going to be represented by the way that it's used in a particular context. Like it's silly to say like, oh, you're using that tool wrong. But, like a group of people who've been using a particular tool in a certain way for like 1,000 years. Like, no, they're not using it wrong. It's just that's the way that it's used in this particular context. And that's the same thing that I think is really important to stress with a word like Nazi. I think it's like really easy to say like, oh, all these, they've been like completely evacuated of meaning, and like, it doesn't really mean anything. And I know this is kind of in contradiction with what I was saying about the Baudrillard stuff, but from the Wittgensteinian perspective, it's not that these things like don't mean anything, or that like
Yes,
we completely diluted it or it's ruined it. It's just that it's just a different language.
Yeah, and I
It's just a different
caught
meaning.
that in the middle of my convo with MrGirl, and I actually, when I was going over a Reddit post last night, I realized that I have to stop saying that these words don't mean anything anymore. That's not true. That's actually unbelievably incorrect. The problem is that the words mean a lot of things. It's not that they don't mean anything. It's that they
There's a
mean
plurality
so
of
many
uses.
different things. Yeah, and in a way that kind of makes
Yep.
it sound like it doesn't mean what you think it means in all contexts. Yeah, so that's I corrected myself in the middle of my convo with MrGirl now. But yeah, I need to start saying that more. Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna rest real quick and
for
chat
sure.
with friend of the stream, Nick. I guess I'll be back 1 second.
Okay.
All right, love you, buddy.
Bye.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I don't know, sort of, whoops, hang on, I gotta mute your stream. I was kind of taking a beating there in that call.
Well, I mean, you're a pretty divisive figure.
Yeah, what the heck, man? That guy really doesn't like me. MrGirl?
Well, I mean, he's Jewish. He has a good reason not to, no?
I don't know, I guess. I don't know, it's just... I understand why people don't like me, but then there's like you said, then there's just like crazy.
Wait, do you understand why people don't like you? Why do you think?
Yeah, totally.
Or for his argument, why do you think he doesn't like you?
Well, I think that there's very common with Jewish people this sort of like histrionic, like pathological paranoia, where it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, probably you or he or most of your people don't watch my show every night. You know, people hear a clip here and there. Like, I know when he says, oh, Nick says that he's willing to lie, he's talking about a clip from like 4 years ago where I said that I use humor, like, for persuasion. That I use humor to, like, lessen the blow of my more shocking beliefs. But it's like, if you watch my show every night, the farthest it goes about Jews is that they're not Christian. And I talk about how, you know, Jewish people are organized and in positions of power, and that Jewish people don't share Christian values. But then
okay, so well,
Yeah,
let's be a little bit more fair. Okay. So
Okay.
The issue is that you are. I think it's fair to say your movement is far right. That's not controversial, right?
No, I agree with that.
It's fair to say that you have implied multiple times, and you do utilize humor and irony to kind of like mask your maybe more shocking political beliefs.
No, I would disagree. I don't use it to mask them at all. My views have been very open from the beginning, because masking implies that I'm concealing them.
Sure. When I say masking, I mean
views.
from like a normal person looking in from the outside. They might not understand all the sophisticated humor of like the crazy Zoomer stuff to know what's a joke or what's not a joke, right? So I think it's fair. I think it's fair for someone in that perspective to be like, yeah, this is pretty spooky or pretty scary. I don't think that's like I don't think that you have to be histrionic to have a fear or worry about that.
I'm not saying that he's histrionic for having that fear. I'm saying that this is like a very common thing where it's like, any time you have like, there's like, the ADL will go into 4th grade classrooms and say that if you like bully people, it could lead to another Holocaust. That's what I mean. There's like this pathological.
Yeah, but I mean, like you can. So there's two things I want to say. So first of all, having a president saying the election is fake could lead to January 6th. So stuff does happen like that, number one. But number two, you keep saying common thing. So when I engage with you, I typically engage with you as Nick Fuentes for the things that you say. So if you're going to engage with MrGirl's criticisms, you should engage with his criticisms, not talk about the ADL. I don't know if he supports the ADL, okay? So
I'm just saying that's because we started the conversation, said why do people not like you? And
well, no. I asked you. Well, no, I guess I did kind of ask that.
Yeah,
but,
and I'm saying like, well,
I'm trying to get to
like
more
Mr.
clearly,
Girl and others don't. Well, if you want to talk about MrGirl in particular,
yeah, I think that his criticisms are fair.
I don't think that's true. Because here's the thing. Here's where I draw the line. You want to criticize me for my views that I espouse on my show and like things that I really believe, fine. But when he says like, Nick Fuentes wants to kill everyone on this panel, like that's just a straight up lie. That's just a straight up like defamation. I don't want to kill anybody. I've never said that. I've never promoted that. I don't want to kill people based on their race or religion. I want to kill anybody.
But you understand if in the past you've made jokes about it, and then
But I never made jokes about it. He's saying
Hold on.
that...
Dude, you and me have made Holocaust jokes on stream, okay? So obviously you joke about it.
Okay, but what is the joke? Is the joke, haha, I'm going to kill Mr. Girl's family, LOL? Or is it
but
like
that's the issue,
somebody
is that...
somebody super chatted my show and said, oh, this Cookie Monster made cookies, oh, haha, that's amusing, LOL.
Yeah, I'm not asking I'm not asking you to evaluate this with a relatively sophisticated understanding of the Zoomer humor that you guys employ. I don't mean that derogatorily. I just mean like there's a certain type of like meta ironic humor that is like kind of the hallmark of like Zoomer humor online today. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that people outside of that could look at that and be like, holy shit, I think this guy might act. You don't think that's possible? You don't think that's fair?
No, I don't think that's fair at all.
Taken in the totality of like everything you've said, like support of
No, not at
Russia
all.
over Ukraine, probably supporting people like DeSantis that are super anti-LGBT, talking about Jewish conspiracies all the time, almost sounds a little bit like, you know, bullshit, the cultural Bolshevism or whatever. You don't think any of that sounds a little bit making jokes about how Hitler is cool? I'm not.
Because you have to.
Yeah,
You have
go
to
ahead.
look at. I mean, because here's the thing. Like, I understand what you're saying, which is that people can misinterpret and things like that. But the
I'm saying
key
you're leaving
word
a lot
there-
out there for people to misinterpret.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The key word there is it's got to be reasonable. I'm a reasonable person. I understand reasonably why people might extrapolate certain things, but to go from like because I watched that whole stream that he did just a moment ago, and he said Nick says that he'll use jokes to mask his views, which I know exactly what he's talking about. That is like a 10-minute clip from 4 years ago. He said, well, he said this, and then in a Twitter space, he said that Destiny fans are people that became gay instead of embraced Hitler. So taking these two things together, that means, and to me, like, that's not reasonable. Like, I don't think any reasonable person would take those two things from years apart and put them together in that way and say, therefore, I think it's
hold
reasonable
on, but
to say...
you say that, hold on, but like, what is our
Let's
understanding?
hold on. How is that? That just doesn't make any sense.
What is our understanding of the average person's engagement with politics? They could be shown a single clip of somebody and be fully convinced that that person is a Nazi,
What's
transphobe.
what's the argument here? Can I? What are we arguing about?
Sure. So on a macro level, what I'm saying is that I think reasonable minds could be shown some collection of your content and think, that's really fucking concerning. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you are this thing or you believe this thing.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, people could be.
Okay, and I'm only saying that because when I asked you to kind of steelman his fears, you were like, well, he's a histrionic Jew. It's like,
He is. He totally is.
But the thing is but we just agreed that reasonable minds could have a lot of concern, which I think is fair.
Yeah, but that's different than saying Nick Fuentes is going to kill my family after he becomes a dictator.
That's true, but reasonable minds could come to a conclusion like that given a certain selection of your content. And I'll be honest, it could happen with mine too. Could happen with mine too, right? I've said a lot of edgy
but it's
shit.
one thing to say it's concerning. It's another thing to say he's going to become a dictator and genocide everyone who doesn't look like him, and he's secretly like that.
Sure, but I think here's the big thing, and this is something I learned a while ago, and Vosh's community took a huge L, and Vosh himself did when I had this argument, is you and him in a way occupied similar positions when it came time to lying to advance a political agenda. And I'm not saying that your position is identical to his, but it almost feels like you think that there's some form of like humor or irony that can be used to mask types of belief in order to further your political ideology. And Vosh got caught up in an argument with me where he essentially said the same thing. Oh, I think I'll lie to advance a political agenda. But the problem is once you've made that concession, now people are looking at you strange in every single thing you say. Now, every single joke about grandmas and baking cookies in ovens becomes like, is he trying to subtly signal that he like wants to go bake Jews in ovens? Or like nobody really knows at that point, because when you start playing fast and loose with irony, nobody really like you become almost
That's
like
so
Sam.
dumb, though.
You can
I've
say
heard-
that,
I've
but like
heard
you
that
become. Do you think it's fair to say people could look at you like they look at Sam Hyde, where it's really hard to figure out like, well, what does he actually believe or what doesn't he believe?
I guess I just don't really care.
That's fine. You can not care. That's okay if you do not care. I'm not telling you should. You could just not care. But again, when I say I don't care, you have to understand.
What you're essentially saying is like, are ignorant people going to misinterpret it? Like,
not
okay,
ignorant people,
yeah, good
reasonable
point.
minds. We said reasonable minds.
Dumb, ignorant, sensitive bitches are going to be like, wah.
Now you're memeing it away. You're doing the meme right now.
I'm not memeing. That's not a. How is that a meme? I'm being straightforward. I'm saying
because
dumb,
you
ignorant
agreed with me that reasonable
crybabies.
minds could watch your rhetoric and be like, oof, this guy's a little bit yikesy. Reasonable
okay, but
minds.
you're conflating two things. You're saying
Yeah.
are people going to watch my things and say it's concerning versus going and saying your blood is on, dude? Because you're just like totally, you're misdirecting what he said. Like you're conflating. Are reasonable people going to be concerned versus what this nut job just came on here and said, which is, Steven, blood is on your hands because it's stochastic terrorism and he's going to be Hitler too and genocide my family. Like, and like that's outlandish. That's all I'm saying.
Well, but I mean, like, hold on. The connections are there. No,
I think that's dumb.
If a reasonable
I'm not
mind,
I'm not gonna play his game. I just think that's dumb.
Okay, you can think it's dumb, but I mean, I think
yeah, I do. I think it's extremely dumb, and I also think it's uncharitable. I think it's uncharitable, and I think it's dishonest.
Well, why would anybody
because-
extend any charity to a self-admitted political radical, right? Like, you're not looking for
Because-
charity from other people. I don't imagine. Are you? Do you think you're going to get charity from anybody? Of course
Well,
not.
do you know what I mean by charity? Do you know what I mean by charity
Like
when I say
people
that?
making a good faith effort to actually understand the context and meaning
Yeah,
of what you're saying,
I
and not
think
just that's never going to happen. It doesn't happen to me. Why would it happen to you?
Yeah, okay.
You're
I
more
mean,
extreme
yeah,
than I
I mean,
am,
sure.
right?
Yeah, and I'm saying though that we should strive to be charitable, and I think we should strive to be honest about what people are saying. I mean, yeah, we're obviously engaged in like combat. We're also engaged in trying to discover the truth. And I think if you're going around telling people like, I'm a brave truth teller, I have a spine, and I'm gonna warn everybody, it's like, well, I think you kind of need to be honest. I think you also need to be charitable to the people that are promulgating this stuff, and not assume like everything that person says is a lie. Everything he says is a lie, and he wants to kill everybody, and he's an evil maniac. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
so you're having a debate. You're having a debate with. I don't disagree with you on any of this. Okay, so I don't know who you're debating right now. You're shadowboxing. I don't necessarily think that these are where your views are. I'm just explaining why I think reasonable minds could have these views. You can go argue against them if you want, but
you're arguing on behalf of reasonable minds.
No, I'm just presenting their side of the
I'm
story.
shadowboxing. So wait a second. So you're telling me, well, I agree with you. I don't know who you're arguing against. You're shadowboxing. I'm just arguing on behalf of other people who, like, come on.
Well, hold on. Wait, what do you mean, boo? Do you think when I engage with you, am I here screaming like, Nick, you're a fucking Nazi? I'm going to talk to you about you and kill? Yeah, of course not. So I'm obviously not representing what I believe, because if I believe that, I would just call you a Nazi and hang up on you. So I don't obviously believe that, right? But it's not. Well, I shouldn't even say this, but it's not intelligent of you, or it behooves you to take time to understand why reasonable minds might say it's a little bit concerning that this guy's, talking about Nazi jokes and talking about how he uses irony all the time and he's got like a weird history. Like, reasonable minds could come to concerning conclusions. That's all I'm saying. And not everybody's going to extend charitability to you, because nobody does it to anybody on the fucking internet, especially someone that political radical.
You don't need to tell me
Okay,
that.
sure, yeah, I understand. Okay, well, but just don't call everybody histrionic.
He is histrionic. Dude, he is histrionic. That's a definition of histrionic, of a guy coming on here and squealing about.
It's definitionally not histrionic.
He's going to kill my family. Okay.
Well, but I mean, like, bro, you're a far-right dude that makes Hitler jokes, and he's Jewish. I don't think there are many steps away to be like, that's a little bit concerning.
I just watched that whole stream, and like, I don't think he wants to kill my family.
Yeah, because it doesn't normally work the other way around. You're not a Palestinian. I'm just kidding. That was too far. I'm just kidding. No, but like, it doesn't go the other way around. He's not, obviously. What do you mean? Like, he doesn't think you're gonna kill, because Jews don't usually kill Nazis. What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying the guy's going to come on the show, right? And he's going to say, well, Nick's a Nazi. He's going to kill my family, blah, blah, blah. And, like, even though he's saying all these, like, nasty things about me, which are dishonest, like, I'm also, because I want to achieve understanding and I want to understand the truth, I'm not going to say, oh, he wants to kill my family. I'm like, no, like, he probably doesn't want to kill my family. Like, the guy's just clearly, like, not stable. Like, that's just not.
Well, but look at what fuck, hold on. I don't know how much. It's late for me, so I don't know how much work I want to put in this conversation. You are doing exactly what he's doing.
I don't think it's that. I don't know why it's that.
You are doing exactly what he's doing, right? I would argue to him. I don't want to have this argument because I don't know how much he wants to apologize. But I argue with him is that if he wants to engage with you or the people that follow you, he needs to make the effort that I make to understand your perspective and the perspective of your followers, which I think I've made I think I could explain your political positions better than most people that engage with. I think I make that effort.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But when I ask you to turn around and engage with his effort, you just call him a Nazi. Except instead of Nazi, instead of calling him a Nazi, you call him histrionic. You're doing the same thing that he's doing. No, it's not. It's the exact same thing. You're refusing to engage with his positions. He's calling you a Nazi. You're calling him.
Listen, I mean,
histrionic. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I could absolutely engage with this position. I'm just saying he's histrionic. I could engage with this, but I watched the whole stream. He said, and I told you because I watched it exactly what he said. I said that his argument is that I'm hiding these secret views. My entire shtick is a facade. My entire thing is an act. Everyone is being tricked in my quest for power so that I could unleash something that I've been hiding all along, which is some kind of genocidal 20th century ideology or something. That's what he said, and even repeating it sounds silly to me.
So you can say that, but you understand this is exactly what Hassan did to me, right?
I don't know what what does that have to do with anything? What is that? Because this is what Hassan did to me. I don't know anything about what is it. I don't know what Hassan
make a funny
has to do with
voice.
this.
You're presenting a scenario that sounds outlandish, but it's actually super common. When Hassan came into my community, he always presented himself as a center-left liberal social democrat. That was consistently. He even made fun of like communists and socialists. He always
that's
presented himself,
different.
but as soon as he started to gain,
as a liberal, but he was actually a tanky. Nick's presenting himself as a race realist, blah, 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 but actually he wants to kill my family. Like, come on.
The race realist position is probably closer to that than the fucking social liberal is to a fucking tanky. I mean, bro.
Not totally.
Really? You don't think so? You don't think they're pretty close? You don't think race realism is a hop and a skip away from fucking ethnic supremacy, which is a hop and a skip away from fucking ethnic genocide? Really?
There's not. No, because people have believed in race. All people in all times have believed in race up until the last 30 years in the West.
Hold on.
And that is just true.
We're not talking about, look at how you're obfuscating. We're not talking about whether you believe in race. We're talking about whether or not you think
what race realism is and the reality of race, racial differences, and that race is meaningful. Now you could talk about
okay,
IQ,
there you
that's
go.
Something different.
No, there you go. Now you got a little bit more precise that race is real and there are meaningful differences between the races that come from the races.
Why are you, every time I talk to people like on the left, it's like that movie. You ever seen that movie, Who's Scared of Virginia Woolf?
No.
It's like that. It's just like this.
I'm just trying to be clear with our language.
Neurotic house of horrors.
Okay, you can write me off as neurotic too. I'm the only guy that's going to make any effort to understand you. I think I could ask for the same.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know why this has to be, like, you know what I'm saying. I think you understand what I'm saying, but
I want to clarify what you're saying because
we're in a debate now about.
We're not in a debate. I just want you to be clear.
You're like there now. You're being more precise. We're talking about race now. Race realism is a hop, skip, and away from total genocide. What I'm trying to say is that actually, saying that race is real is not close to saying we should genocide other people because everybody's believed in race. Everybody's.
You understand the statement "race is real"? That's a very broad spectrum of belief, right?
Okay.
Like 99% of people believe race is real. But that's not what you mean when you say race. Look, you're playing the game right now. Now you're sad because I'm trying to hold you down on meaning, and you're getting upset. You're like, I just want to be able to say my shit and not get challenged on it. Fuck, come on, Destiny.
I don't care about getting challenged.
Can't we get some more waffles? Do we really have to do this right now? Like, come on.
You just said a moment ago, I don't know how much effort I want to put in this. Okay, so I mean...
Well, because now you're
again, I don't know why it's always got to be antagonistic and hostile.
Well, because we're fighting for each other's viewers. Of course it's antagonistic to some extent.
I don't see it as a fight. I see the difference is I don't see it as a fight. I like content. I like talking to people. I like debating. But whatever we get into this, it turns into this. Well, we got what percentage of the audience are we winning over? Whereas
I just want you to be honest with your language. I'm just trying to make sure we're talking the same shit.
Well, if
then you should have no problem clarifying.
I'll address MrGirl's accusations, which is no, I do not support ethnic cleansing. No, I do not want to kill MrGirl's family or Jidion or whatever. So if I could just address that. As opposed to calling him histrionic, I'll address his criticisms, which are that I'm the secret Hitler. That's not the case.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on to clear that up. Although,
yeah, do you believe me?
I can never give my public opinions of you because I'm not. There's a lot of things that I'm a lot of interesting things to think about, But someday,
Yeah, that was.
You're on the way you're on your way to becoming center left. I could actually feel it. I definitely think so. Yeah, I'm looking in your chat. They're calling you soft on the JQ. They're calling you soft on race realism. Sometimes I see them in there, Nick. They see the moderate leaking out of you sometimes. So
I'm in the top left quadrant on the political compass. So I'm right up there. Who is that guy you were talking to before I came in? What was that all about?
Which one? Oh, it's a guy that there's just a few people in my community that just know a lot about a lot of shit, and I look up to him for a lot of like philosophy questions. Or
that guy sounded like he was a teenager
though. No, he's probably dude. You're like 24.
Yeah,
so fucking chill.
He sounded like a kid.
Fucking chill. I don't know how old Urk is. I'm pretty sure he's somewhere in his 20s.
Wikipedia articles.
You really? Do you want to argue with him on some fucking bullshit or whatever? You want to see?
I don't.
Okay, that's what I thought. So slow down. Okay.
Yeah.
Urk is a respected community member, contributor in my chat. Okay.
Sounded like a highly respected.
He is highly
analyst.
respected, professional DG
analyst.
Good one. Nice.
Hey, and by the way, I mean I hang out with the Destiny groypers all the time. Okay, I'm in the group chat, and there's black guy. Whose name? Chompe was in there. You know him?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the group chat.
What? I know all the DGers, Chompe and Isa and Courtney.
Oh, actually,
and
never mind.
there's-
I did get dragged into that one. I know what you're talking
There's
about. yeah.
girls and there's blacks and there's gays and there's girl boys
I
and
know.
boy girls.
And you're into all of it. You're cool
and
with
the
all of them.
whole spectrum.
You're
Yeah.
soft.
And I'm hanging out and I'm chatting them up and we're having a great old time. And you know, so I'm not like trying to kill Mr. Girl's family. But what's with Jidion wants to kill me? It sounded like Jidion and Abba were like just trying to like incite a riot against me. They're like, we did. So what you're saying is you should kill Nick Fuentes. Like they were literally egging Mr. Girl on. They're trying to radicalize this guy like FBI style.
Wow.
Right? I mean, even you were like, well, I don't endorse that.
Well, no, he was saying that the logical extension of what Mr. Girl was saying would lead him to strapping up. That's what he was saying.
Yeah. Jidion was in there like, you should go kill Nick Fuentes.
Well, that was.
Like, whoa.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm joking around. I'm just joking around a little.
Oh my god, I gotta be so on guard with all you motherfuckers. Okay. Well, is that all you got? Are we good?
Well, you're kind of rushing me out, but all right.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's all I
tired.
got.
We don't all sleep at 7 a.m. like you do, okay? Which is
Yeah,
very, I'm sure,
yeah.
non-Catholic. I'm pretty sure having a good sleep schedule is somewhere in there. Fucking
Is that
Jesus
true?
Christ sleeping through his own crucifixion probably wouldn't look
You
too
would.
good. Okay.
That's got. You would know. You went to the Jesuit school. You know all the. You know
Yeah,
the
that's
lore.
true. You show up at 7 a.m. or you get jug. You know what jug
The
is?
Lore Master. No, it's Jug.
Oof. Jesuit schools, jug is morning detention. It stands for justice under God. You sit there and you stare at a chalkboard. You don't get to do homework or anything. Okay, rough
Oh,
times. Rough times.
I would be getting jugged. I'd be getting major jugged.
Major jug.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to fix a sleep schedule, but you know, I'm manic. I'm eccentric. I like the night. Okay, the moon. Chthonic energy, lunar chthonic energy. It
Sounds a little astrological. It sounds a little satanic. I don't know how I feel about that one, but
it's you know, the sort of magic of the night. Yeah, it is. It's wrong. I know it's wrong.
okay, I'm just saying. I like not all witches or not all women that roamed at night were witches, but I bet everybody roaming at night was a witch. There's a saying in there. I don't know what it is. I'm going to bed. Fuck you. Good night.
All right. Good night. Good night, King.
Fuck. Not all night roamers are witches, but all witches roam at night. Something like that. Some saying that. You guys will figure it out. Okay. I'm finally getting my space shit set up. I need to figure out how to do cargo rockets. I probably have to use this delivery. It allows delivery contained resource to be a delivery cannon. It's probably you use delivery cannons to shoot materials into your thing. Probably goes to like a landing pad. And then you use probably robots to auto-deliver shit. Is probably what you're supposed to do, huh? I imagine. But, okay. Jesus. Hold on. Let me throw up a quick 900 before I'm done. Hold on. Are you serious? Bro, that was like 950. I'm done with this shit. Fuck this game. This shit is fucked. This shit fucked up. I don't care. Don't care. All right. I love you guys. It's been fun. Ribbon, cappuccino, pappuccino, hoppuccino, moppuccino, cappuccino, cappuccino, appuccino, alpuccino, my deuterinos. Who's streaming? Oh god, this young Don shit. Dude, this guy's gonna get himself killed. Oh my god, dude. I think I saw Jidion in the chat. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you for joining me. Oh fuck, he's still. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Destiny.
How you doing?
Why are you platforming someone that's trying to delete my family, delete me, and delete the whole black community, and take over America, and then take over the world? Why are you platforming someone like that?
Okay.
Why?
Listen,
Why?
do you understand the concern on his side at least?
It doesn't matter. I see it before it happens. Call me That's So Raven. I can see the future.
It's, well, I mean, there's a legitimate concern there, right? Because they're like, I'm sure you must have thought about this, right? Because I'm sure people blew you the fuck up for the Nazi, or not the Nazi stuff, the KKK stuff, right?
Listen, the KKK has nowhere near the power as a Nick. Nick, you know what? We might need to raid his cozy headquarters to see he doesn't have weapons of mass destruction. We don't know.
Listen, you're close to getting an L, okay? Slow down. I need to go to sleep, okay?
Hey, man, I just hope you could sleep at night knowing that my family's gonna get deleted.
Okay, I'll try my best to sleep easy, okay? Us white people have never really cared about the suffering of your kind much, so I'll get by. I love you, buddy.
Love you too, Destiny. Wait, what is that game you play?
It's called Factorio. You wouldn't like it. It's the worst game ever, but I love it.
Like, it feels like you don't even like the game. I think
love
you just
it.
You do.
Have you do you play games? What kind of games do you play?
Play like 2K, Fortnite, like little horror games, whatever my
It's like games where you you mine resources to make machines to automatically build other things, to make more resources to automatically build other things. It's like that.
It kind of looks kind of mindless. Is it mindless?
It's actually one of the biggest brain games ever. You wouldn't stand a chance, okay? If I'm being honest with you.
Because I'm black. I know. I understand.
No, I wasn't going there, okay?
Our brains were just, they're like peanuts, you know?
You said it, not me, okay? You guys got heated tonight. Jesus, I thought I was going to have some fucking race wars going on in my Discord. Holy shit.
Well, wait, what happened?
I don't know, when you started bringing up Jewish shit and black shit and everything, I just got real uncomfortable, okay?
Wait, who?
All of you got, you and MrGirl were starting to go hardcore idpol on each other, identity politics on each other, and it was, bombs were dropping, Jesus.
I didn't bring up anything about black people.
Sure, maybe you guys were fighting over it, okay? Damn.
I wasn't fighting MrGirl.
Okay.
I wasn't fighting anybody.
Abba and him, okay? Abba and MrGirl.
Yeah, fucking with y'all, Loki might get me canceled.
Damn, it might actually. Be careful, okay?
Alright, well.
You need a voice changer when you come on here. Crank it up a few octaves, alright?
I'm gonna just hide in chat and just like troll.
That's, you know, people do that too, so.
No, you know, we'll try to get to it, man.
Okay, I'm going to bed, alright? I love you, buddy.
Alright.
Stay safe.
WStream, like the stream right now. Get the stream to 2,000 likes. If you guys get the stream to 2,000 likes, I will do a giveaway on Destiny's Twitter, and I'll give someone $100. So get the stream to $500. So like the stream. You know what? I want you to have 2,000 likes on the stream. So like it right now. Tweet out right now. Be like, wait, aren't you banned? Wait, you said you're banned on Twitter.
No, I have another Twitter account called the OmniLiberal. Damn, motherfucker, you follow me and you don't even know this? What the fuck?
I know, that's why I'm asking. Like, how, if you're banned, how do you?
Well, I put pansexual, genderqueer, neurodivergent, polyamorous. I put all that shit in my profile. And it seems like it's got me safe.
That's why you put that.
It's stupid, but it seems like it's working. So
are you like permabanned?
Yeah, it's for stupid shit too. But hey, what are you gonna do, man? Don't look through my old tweets, okay? You won't ever come back to my stream. So just give me a warning on that, all right?
Oh man.
Listen, dude, I was creating some wild shit, but you were still fucking 12 years old, okay? You wouldn't understand back then. Twitter was a different place, okay?
All right, they're kind of going crazy. It's not like 1.9K. Okay. My bad. I wasn't expecting you guys to actually do it. So, since you guys actually did it, get it to... deal's a deal. Fuck, man. $500 is a lot of money. Are you going to tweet?
What do you want me to tweet?
Just tweet out, I'm doing this because the black man said so. Or, I want to see more BBC. Tweet that out.
Okay, there's a lot of reasons why it's not a good idea for me to tweet that out.
Why? You don't want to see more BBC? You don't want to see more big black creators? You don't want to see more big black creators? Okay, Destiny. I see it. Who's a real racist here? Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I tweeted it out. I got you. I had to throw a clarifying tweet under it. Okay. Jesus. Okay. All right. Can I go to sleep now? Am I good?
Yeah. I'm gonna pick a random person and get $500. Good night, Destiny.
Thanks. I love you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you later. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to sleep. Jesus Christ. When you are okay, I need to start enforcing this more. Okay. Because I banned like 1,000 people. Not really. Probably not. Probably only like 200 people on my subreddit this day. If you guys want to be critical of me or other people on my stream, okay, you are always fair to do that. Unless it's about League of Legends, then I'll probably ban you no matter what. Okay. You're always fair to do that. Just do it in ways that is like engaging with what's being said. So if you type something like, I think Destiny is a piece of shit because he let Darius come on and a bunch of people dogpiled him, and I thought that was like really fucked up. That's fine, sure. But if it's like, Destiny is a manipulator and he gaslighted Darius just so that he could simp for his fucking wife, and I think that he was trying to get Darius to fucking kill himself because he was so like, when you're typing shit like that, bro, I'm just gonna ban you, okay? Chill, okay? Just, you can fucking do whatever, just don't be unhinged about it. Okay, just don't be unhinged about it, and don't ever criticize my League play, or I will fucking end you. You can move the camera instantly to any place on the map by going to the map on M and then put the cursor on the spot you want to click on. Thank you, Basan. You've typed that like 50 times in YouTube chat. You've been so persistent, and I read it out loud just for you so that you could see that I have seen you type that like 50 times in YouTube chat. Okay, thank you. Okay. I love you guys. It's been fun. Rip into cappuccino, 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 Alpuccino, my Deuterinos. I will catch you guys next streamer. I don't think she's streaming right now, right? She's not. Okay. Rip on Deuters. I'm casting you into the ethers. I'll be back tomorrow. Normal time, I think. Hopefully. Bye.